there like 10 seasons of like searching for Sasquatch if he's not, if
because they haven't found
Just
him.
think about the build-up to that series finale, though, when they do find them. Okay, before we get to the top 10, has anyone seen... I don't know what the movie is.
Oh, okay. Well, then no, I haven't seen it.
Hang on. It was a movie. Have you guys seen Daddy Daycare?
Yeah.
Sure.
You know there's like kind of the nerdy guy that helps them out? It's something...
No, I can't remember that.
I know.
And that
How
movie...
does Taylor know this?
He knows. We're on the same level. And he did that movie where it's him and a bunch of people searching for Bigfoot. Oh, does anyone remember this? It was a comedy. Oh, they're like,
whoa, what's it called? I have this movie.
I know.
Strange Wilderness. Is that
Strange
it?
Wilderness.
Ah!
And then at the end they've been looking for Bigfoot the whole movie, and then at the end they find Bigfoot, and they get scared, so they just shoot him, and then it like cuts to like 5 minutes later.
Spoiler alert.
What? This movie's been out for years and no one saw it. Did terrible at the box office. It's a hidden gem. And then
So you just spoiled it for everyone.
so it's like a reality show. They find Bigfoot off camera. They shoot him because they freak out like, oh my god, we just killed Bigfoot. So they cut 5 minutes later and like sadly he killed himself. And it's Bigfoot in the background hanging, but he has all these bullet wounds in him. Oh no, it's not a good way to start the cast. I'm off my... Oh no, it's too... I'm gone now. I'm not focused anymore. This is such a good movie.
That would be so funny if they found him
What's
this
it
week.
called?
Strange Wilderness. We're gonna make you watch the YouTube clip before well, not on air, but anyway,
After.
somebody take over.
Welcome everyone to the GeekVerse podcast, episode 9. I'm
The returning.
I'm the returning Kirkland Patzer.
There we go.
That's
Back
my new
from the
title,
dead.
I guess, yeah.
I'm the... I didn't have anything planned, and I just realized it.
Oh, I wish there was a video. If you would have seen Dylan's face, the fear when we got to Dylan, like, I have nothing.
And I started with just the one, and then I was like, oh, wait, I need, I don't know, the one of a few here or there. That's awful. I need a new theme.
You're just gonna leave it on that?
Yeah, sure. They know who I am.
Okay, this is the ever see-through Jessica.
The ever see
She's searching it up.
Because I'm a ghost.
Oh, I didn't even
You
think
didn't
of a
get that,
good
Drew?
tagline this
I
week.
got
No,
that.
I got it.
I
I
got
didn't even
that.
think of a good nickname this
Neither did I.
week.
Now you're on the spot.
I know, but I'm not fear because I got things to pull from. I'm
Take
the
a-
Heartbreak Kid.
I wouldn't
Trust
say
now.
I was
Boom,
afraid.
Take it.
Boom!
I have to thank God for professional wrestling. I have like thousands. And then,
That's true.
lastly, joined by...
You gave your nickname?
Yeah,
Oh.
He
okay.
boomed it, and then it was done.
Heartbreak Kid, HBK.
This
HBK.
is Taylor, leader of the Canadian Assassins.
Oh my god.
I thought he was about to say leader of the group, and I was like, oh, okay.
We're just gonna cap on all your
now.
games.
Well, do we want to do honorable mentions before we get into...
If you have honorable mentions, yeah, but we don't gotta do them like everybody do honorable mentions.
Well, did anyone have anything that just barely made it on their list, but you can't quite put it in top 10?
Well, Jessica's cheating because she's gonna replace games.
Oh.
Okay,
that's true.
okay, should I just say some things that are...
Say some honorable mentions.
That you know for sure. make it
Nothing
to
that's
your
going to
top
be
10
in your
list.
top 10.
For sure. You don't have to do it.
Okay, so like the games that I was gonna use to replace my top 10 games, if you guys use them.
Sure, because it doesn't matter if we have the same top 10. That's a
doesn't
good
matter.
thing for the game.
It's good
Yeah.
for our friendship if we have similar games on our lists.
Okay, one of mine was Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh, yes.
I
Is
can
that
see
yours
that
too?
because
No,
I love
I
Victoria
didn't play
3,
that,
which is
sorry.
like similar in concept, but I would never put it on my top 10. So
See, but I feel like Dance Dance Revolution was like... I played it a lot. Like a disgusting amount. And like when I go to Scandia, the place that we've talked about not going to on the cast before, I go and I play DDR.
yeah,
So, it's just one of those games. I used to play and get perfect because that was just how much I played. So,
Wow.
yeah. So that's an honorable mention for me that, it's just got some good memories.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Someone else throw some
No, we can go. We can blow through the honorable mentions, can't
Well,
we? 'Cause
someone else can still blow through an honorable mention then.
Okay,
Come on.
okay.
I have an honorable mention. One of my honorable mentions is the Guitar Hero Rock Band series.
Okay.
That was like one of the first games. I think it was Guitar Hero 3 was the first game I ever had on Xbox 360, and that was just like the biggest game in my household. Like everyone played. Everyone in my family played.
did you ever beat Through the Fire and Flames on Expert?
No, obviously not.
Taylor has the achievement.
He has
remember? The achievement, remember?
The
Yeah, but
false
he didn't do
achievement.
it.
Yeah, I know.
But that game I had to put on the honorable mention because it was just such a big part of like my growing up. Like I played that for so many years, and it's like the new systems are, and like we still go back to it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's classic for my family. So yeah.
I'll second that. That's it's not good enough for it to be top 10 for me, but I definitely enjoyed playing Rock Band.
It was awesome.
For sure. You raised your hand instantly. Everyone else just talks, but you raised your hand here.
Yeah.
Talking about Taylor here. What did you have an honorable
Gotta be
mention?
polite. Well, I had it on there, but I took it off, but it's Star Wars Battlefront 1. I just remember going over to my friends before I had an Xbox, and we played Battle of Hoth, get into the AT-AT, and you're going through there trying to get to the shield generator, and then the Echo base where the speeders are coming out, and you're just trying to get there and just shoot the speeders. That was just so much fun. It just has a lot of nostalgia for me.
Cool Beans? How about you, Travis? Do you have any?
Cool Beans. Why have you been using Cool Beans?
I've
so
been
much
using Cool
lately?
Beans the last 2 weeks. It's just in right now.
It's a cool minute right now. And in a cool minute, you talk about cool beans.
I guess so. I'm just gonna blow through mine. I'm not gonna do it one by
Honorable
one.
mentions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lego Star Wars. I went back and forth to put that on the list just because I played that so much, and I just love that. And I'll throw Lego Marvel in there too. Same thing. If you haven't played it, I think it's really underrated. I'd say it's like the GTA of Lego. It's really good. It's open world. So those two Lego games went back and forth, but there's some games that were better than that. The only reason I like this game so much, and I've played it way too many times, and it's an alright game. Has anyone ever heard of Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah.
Yeah, that game, I almost did the same thing. I was so close to putting it there, but just because the mechanics weren't amazing, but I've played it so many times, like unlocking people and whatnot, and it's so cool. It's pretty much an RPG. You can upgrade yourself, you can get different costumes from like this era of, Blade or this era of Ghost Rider, so that was really cool. And then the last one for me was just Disney Infinity. I couldn't put in my top 10 because it's not good enough to play at all, but I'm a kid and I like the crossover. It's still a fun game, but it's not like top 10. Like maybe if we were doing top 20, it'd be like 20 for me just because the crossovers. Like last night, like just being like, I don't know, Luke Skywalker and Spider-Man together. It's still cool just to see it, but it's not good enough to be in a top 10. So that was just my quick honorable mentions.
Cool. I
beans.
got honorable mentions, Portal 1 and 2.
Oh,
Awesome games, but
yes.
not quite worthy of top 10.
I might actually, I don't have it, but now that I think about it, I might argue that. I might even put that.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Super Mario 64, great game. Borderlands 1. And then this one is so close, GTA, but the reason I couldn't put it on my list is because for different parts of my life, I played different similar games.
You didn't put a single GTA in your
No,
top
and
10?
here's why. It's because...
my
I don't
god.
have-
No,
I don't
and
have
here's
GTA
why.
on mine.
Here's why, Travis.
Good.
Because when
That's
I was a young kid, the game I played that was similar in concept was Simpsons Hit and Run. And then when I grew up a bit, I played Crackdown, and then I played GTA. So I can't put GTA on my list because I need to represent all three of them in order to represent like what that kind of game means for me. So that's why I couldn't put it on.
Salt.
It's so
Calamari
close.
salt over
Do
here.
you know how GTA was like the closest one to make it on the list? But
I almost had 2 GTAs on my list.
yeah.
Man.
Well, we are different people, so it can happen.
What?
I put Simpsons Hit and Run on my honorable mention for sure.
Yeah.
I played that so much.
But
when I was a kid.
Borderlands
Yeah.
is in my 10, so a little insulted, but it's okay. Me and Travis.
Hey,
are the
honorable
same
mention.
boat.
That means that it's worthy of mention,
Yeah.
but not quite top 10. I don't know.
Not good enough.
All right, should we hop in number 10?
Well, does anybody else have
Crash
honorable mentions?
Bandicoot. It's not good enough to top 10, but
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I didn't have that in mind. I would put that in Spyro, those two for me as well.
Crash Bandicoot it's not quite Spyro tier, which is why Spyro's actually on my list.
Ooh, spoilers.
Yeah, hashtag spoiler alert.
Good pick.
So, but Crash Bandicoot wasn't quite the same level, so that's an honorable mention for me. And I'll also throw out I don't know. They could, if I rearrange my list, possibly be on there, but Mario Brothers, Mario Party, and Mario Kart. I don't
Yeah.
think they're quite top 10, but I love.
I don't think they have enough depth to be like on
Yeah.
top 10, but they're definitely amazing games.
Yeah.
This is not going to go well. There's going to be a
Well,
lot
I think
of
we all
problems.
internally have different definitions of your top 10 games.
Yeah.
I know.
Because even like my top 10 isn't my 10 favorite games right now, and that would be a completely different list.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Take it for what it was at the time.
Yeah, so. Okay.
It was a little both.
You got any more?
I bet if I played
Oh,
San
yeah.
Andreas, like if I never owned it, and I know it's an amazing
So
game.
You had it on the computer? The mods?
I've
multiplayer
played it
mods?
a
The
ton, I just
multiplayer
never
mods
owned
better
it.
than the GTA Online
But I'm
nowadays.
sure if I
Like,
did-
not even
Hey,
getting-
GTA
you
would've
can
made
play
it,
as
but-
Teen Wolf now. Okay, back off. Which came out today. Big news. Oh, sorry. Podcast way off. This Tuesday of.
No tidbits this week, Travis.
What is the week? What are we in right now? Is it
15th.
September 15th. It came out the 15th. The official free mode in GTA we were talking about last time.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we'll have to play it soon. But anyways, okay. Let's start with their number 10 on their list.
Let's start with Taylor.
Mine continue
Why?
to not be in order
Why
from
are you starting
10
with me?
to 1, so...
Because you look like you want to say something over there.
Kurt like Kirkland,
Because
Taylor
no one will have this on the list.
Taylor had
I
a
know
little
for
bitch
sure.
fit over
Okay,
here.
My
but-
number 10.
No, before we start...
No, I checked. You don't gotta flank that.
Okay, before we start, I want it to be known that I was not going to be mean enough to my games to put 1 at the top. So my games aren't actually, like, number 1 and number 10. It's just I pick 10 games that I like. So when they're doing top 10, mine are, like, just 10 games that I really
Hers is
like.
kind of fraudulent, is what she's trying to say.
Yeah. When we get to 1, number 1 might not actually be number
Okay, well,
1.
you gotta pick at least
She
a
couldn't
number one.
commit to
I can't
number
commit.
one.
I can't commit to number 1. It's like when someone asks you if you had one Pokemon for like to be a real life Pokemon. I can't
Pikachu.
commit to that.
I could
Easy.
No,
choose. I could
it's-
choose.
Gyarados.
It's not
Easy.
Pikachu. No, no. God, you guys are all
Chinese
wrong.
dragon?
If you pick a Pikachu, you
Yeah.
are wrong.
I like Pikachu.
You don't play Pokemon. You
I
don't
know.
understand the
Fine.
struggle.
Pikachu's
Sorry.
good.
The struggle is real.
Man, this is a violent podcast.
Get a Rattata top percentage.
I want to be a Grimer. Ooh. He's an exciting Pokemon.
Okay,
Really?
Kirkland, you're going
Okay,
I
yeah.
really thought this was gonna be a fun podcast, but now I'm really concerned.
Okay, well, this number
15
10,
minutes in.
I had to put it on there because it's basically taken over my life. It's a huge love-hate
3?
relationship. No.
He's talking about League of Legends.
Dark
League of
Souls.
Legends.
Ah!
League of Legends.
Yeah.
You know
It's
why?
a
Because that
free-to-play.
description is what I can use for the MOBA on my list.
Exactly. Like, if you haven't played a MOBA, they can be really addicting or just like ruin your life, or it can be everything.
Yeah, but didn't they add a new jungler today? Just got added.
They add a new jungler every other
Yeah.
Tuesday, I swear.
Yeah.
They
cool.
add
They're
Tuesday
always adding new
adds
champions.
so many
Like,
ridiculous
the game's
ones.
always changing, which makes it fun. But like the reason it's not fun is because you get frustrated with other real life people in the game.
Because the game is completely
You
designed
need-
upon having
you need
10
to have
people who are.
teamwork, and it's just
And no,
Doesn't
LoL
happen.
has
Yeah.
the worst community of any game ever. Like
All
it's terrible.
MOBAs. I think all the MOBAs just have the worst communities.
I think LoL
So
is like
toxic.
yeah.
You guys haven't played
Toxic.
Han.
I've heard Han. I've played Han, but I've played with
Can I?
people, not like
Yeah.
random strangers. So
Taylor just took his Assassin's Creed hoodie off because we totally called that. $10.
He also
Yeah.
took Assassin's Creed off his list, I think. That's what that means.
Yeah, I do
Ooh.
recent. Yeah,
I don't know if I'd give LoL top 10 status, but
Well,
it's
I had to put it on there because I've been playing it nonstop for basically 3 years now, and
I think that's
Yeah, that's
worthy.
worthy.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
worthy. Yeah.
so like it had to go on the list. I didn't want to put anything higher because it's not one of those games where every time I think of it, it's like, oh, it's just only good memories. It's like there's so many bad memories, but it's like I don't know. I
That's a
love
good
it.
point.
It's like I said, it's a love hate, and I don't know. It depends on the days when I love it. And yeah, that's why it's on my number 10.
okay. Who wants to? I guess I'll go because I'm talking.
Should we do that?
No,
To
okay,
go
Dylan,
all,
no,
no, go in a circle. Go in a circle.
Dylan, go ahead.
Me go ahead?
Okay, yeah.
Alright, I'm going to preface this one because you guys are going to be like, nah, this is BS.
Taylor's going last.
I'm going to preface this. that I made this list, and I put this on the list before we played Mario Maker. Super Mario Bros. 3 is my number 10.
Still a good game. It's just not my favorite Mario.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I put it on there. It's the first game I ever played, and it made me love video games, and everything about it is amazing. It's not easy because old games weren't usually easy. I love the music and I love everything about it. And it's the first game I ever played. I just remember playing the battles. I think I brought this up on the cast one time, but do you guys remember if you don't like select new level, you just select the starting level, you like do a battle in the tubes? You know what I'm talking about? I don't know how to describe it.
I kind of remember.
Yeah, if there's like the 2 tubes at the top, left and right corner, and then the enemies just come down and it progressively gets harder and faster.
Yeah.
And those battles,
Oh, and there's like blocks and whatnot.
yeah.
Oh, I liked
And
that more.
me and my
yeah.
me and my sister did those battles for hours.
That was lots
like
of
we would
fun,
just play the
actually.
game and just do the battles. Like that's, I don't know,
Yeah.
amazing game. Loved it.
I
Yeah.
love it. It's on
First
my
game I
list.
ever played too. So.
Yeah.
It's on my list.
Nice.
I don't think there's a bad Mario game. That's like, well, okay, there's a bad, but like even their worst Mario games.
But I don't
are
think
pretty...
any of them were nearly as like important to me as that
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
That's I'll,
I feel like
I'll
everyone-
go over it when it comes to me.
Yeah.
Did you almost put Mario Maker in your top 10, even though it's so
No,
new?
what I
I
was
thought about it, even though I don't even own it. Just
no,
'cause-
well, because it just came out, right? You can't.
I know, but it
There's
just
no-
has that feeling. When I got home, I'm like, oh, I'm
I
gonna
think
wait till I finish Metal Gear.
it might
I'm
be-
buying it when I get back from Montreal.
It might be
There's no way.
it might be eventually, but I just wanted to say that I didn't put this on my list because of Mario Maker.
Yeah.
I did write this before we did Mario
Yeah.
Maker, so. And then playing Mario Maker and playing Super Mario 3 and making a level in that world, oh,
Even better.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
That's why I love Mario Maker.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my number 10. How about someone else? Jessica?
Okay, so number 10, I put Team Fortress 2.
Nice.
So,
Good choice.
You know, never
No
played
idea.
it.
Love it.
It's Steam.
It's-
so
yeah, it's
if you don't-
Steam.
if you don't know
It's a free
Steam,
game, can't go wrong.
It's, basically team versus team, except with hats.
What is this?
Lots of hats.
Lots
Team
of hats.
Fortress 2.
No, what you said team versus team. Like, what do you... I mean, like, what do you do as the actual, like...
There's a whole bunch of
you're-
different objectives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different classes, just try and kill off another team.
Do you know what this
No,
is?
I
Okay,
know
I'm
what
not
it
alone.
is.
Thank
I know what it
God.
is,
Yeah.
but I'd never played it.
It's just a really good shooter, and I'd say it's
Classic.
very
I'd
unique.
say it's
Yeah.
Very unique in its own way because it's so based on teamwork.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of shooters, you're supposed to play as a team, but you can do whatever you want. In Team Fortress,
Yeah,
need
well, you have
teamwork.
classes specifically made for it. Like, there's a class called a medic, and you literally have to walk right behind someone to heal them. So you have to stick together. And then when a medic has healed someone enough, they can go invincible. And so if you really have to kind of pair up and, like, protect your medic and the medic will heal you kind of thing. It's a great game. I've spent so many hours logged into that game. I love it. If you kind of want to know a little bit about it, if you YouTube, like, meet the pyro, meet the sniper, meet the heavy.
yeah, those videos are awesome.
Yeah, those videos are absolutely great. And they'll kind of give you an insight to the characters in it. So, yeah, that's probably one of my top 10 there. Travis, what about you?
As I look at my number 10, I forgot one honorable mention, Banjo-Kazooie. I played it a lot. It's not 10-2 worthy at all because it's really cheesy and whatnot, but I played it too much, Banjo-Kazooie. But I had lots of fun. But number 10 reminded me because it came out probably same time, same system. I put Mario 64 on there because that was one that I did play quite a bit as a kid, especially when I was younger because it was a lot harder back then, so I felt like I played it so much just because I was trying to beat it. But like we talked about loving Mario, but that was the first time playing a Mario where it felt really different. Like, it still felt like Mario, but it felt different. Just even that first
dude,
level.
Mario 64 is just there on my list.
Even that first level of, I can't remember what it is. It's a hill, and then there's the chomper at the top and whatnot, and like, just when it starts with that,
Not
like,
quite, but yeah. Somewhere.
what is the first level?
The first one is Bob-omb's Battlefield, I think it's called, and then at the very top it's the King.
You run in a circle, right?
the King Bomb.
Oh, sorry,
It's
that's
not
what I
a
was
chain
talking about.
chomp.
Oh, right, it wasn't. Yeah,
There is
that's
a
what I'm
chain
talking
chomp
about.
in the level, but it's not the
Okay,
top.
right. No, that's what I was talking about. Like, just even that when you first play, it's great. In my
You should check out some speedruns for it. It's one of the
Yeah.
best speedrunning
I
games.
plan on
Yeah.
replaying it again within like the year, like calendar year. So maybe I will. And then the other parts of that I really liked was, as a kid, was the Boo, like seeing
Yeah.
that, and I can't remember what it was. That's why I want to replay it. But just seeing, there's always this Boo up top, and there's something you had to do to make
On
him
the
be-
roof, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But when I look back, there's just I don't fully remember it, but there's all like these great memories I have of like I don't recall the exact situations, but it was just a fun game, and it just felt really different.
That
and
game was amazing.
It's a game that, for older games like N64, the reason it's on the list, any game that I look back and I say, oh, I still want to play it, that's why it's on the list, because like I said, I plan on replaying it because it's just so much fun. And even any times I've played it here and there the past couple of years, it's still fun, and the mechanics still work, and it still looks pretty good, so yeah, Mario
You
64.
want to borrow it?
I own it.
You own it?
Yeah, I
You
just, like I said the last couple podcasts, I'm just waiting for a crappy year of no video games where I have
Bust it
nothing,
out.
which I think might be next year, I'm hoping. So
No, don't hope for that.
Don't know.
what I kind of for PlayStation, Xbox has a good lineup for PlayStation now. Uncharted's coming on March. I don't know what's coming out next November. All the stuff I wanted. So, anyways,
Another Call of Duty.
is that on? Do you have a Call of Duty on your top?
I
Oh,
have a Call of Duty
Taylor!
on my
I do.
list.
I do too.
What? Oh, disappointment.
Is it?
It's
It's not two, is it?
It's Modern Warfare 2.
Oh,
Modern
Swag.
Warfare 2. Yeah. That's,
Really?
It just...
We'll tell you why when
yeah,
we
I
get
know.
there.
Exactly.
stop spoiling your
in here.
list.
It's in
That's
here.
that's one that I would have put
Yeah.
on my list.
It's in the heart.
That's not the best Call of Duty, but it's the one I
It's
have on my
yeah,
list.
exactly.
What do you think is the best one? I still think the
I think
first
Modern-
one for 360.
Modern Warfare 1 is probably...
Yeah, COD
is-
4. That was my...
I would say without a doubt it is probably
Favorite
the
of
best
that
one in
Yeah.
terms of like actually being a functional game.
Yeah.
But,
That's so true.
but then after that, it kind of just got too crazy. But anyway, we'll talk about. How
we'll
about
talk
we
about
wait until we
I just
get
have a
it?
soft spot for the World War II one, like that first one, just because I don't know when I.
I think at that point in my life, I'd already played so many World War II shooters, I was kind of done with it.
True.
But zombies is
Yeah.
sick. So
Yeah.
No.
Zombies wasn't in that one, though.
Yeah, it was.
Then the
World at
first
War?
one?
World at
No, the very first game.
Oh,
for
right. I guess there
360.
was-
It was just Call of
yeah.
Duty 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
played,
the
I played
one-
the demo on that when I first got my.
That's one that's still my favorite, and then Call of Duty 3 came out, and it was awful. Anyways, Taylor, start your top 10 list.
My number 10 on my list is Fear. It was the first scary game that I ever played, and it was...
Never played it.
Never played it?
No, I know what you're talking about. And
I played it, yeah.
I looked at it on my shelf and, when I was looking for games.
I played the third one.
Where you own it, but you haven't played it?
You gotta
No,
play
when
the
I was
first
looking
one.
at games
First
put on my
one's good.
list.
Oh.
I sat in
Okay.
front of my shelf of all my games and was like, what is worthy of being on this list?
Go on, Taylor.
What
Yeah.
about it? Because I would have never thought to put that thing on my
Yeah.
top 10.
Well, I never
I didn't
got
even
my,
remember it when I was making this list.
I never got it myself. My dad was, since I was getting into games, because I was playing Halo on PC, the first Halo,
Yeah.
and I was getting into games, and he enjoyed it, so he picked up Fear, and then I played it, and it was really, really freaky. It really knew what moments to really pop out and get you, and the story was really, really intriguing, and you're at certain times you're fighting humans, and then other times there's these paranormal things that happen, and it was really timed out well with its scary moments. And I was debating on putting Outlast on there, but Fear definitely just hit it for me. So that's my 10.
It was a good series. I definitely...
How many was there? There was at least
Three.
a...
There was
yeah.
3.
I think I only played the
I like the
first,
third
yeah.
one the best, though. Actually, because you could co-op in it,
Yeah.
and there was 2 different characters you could choose between to play. So each of the brothers, and they each had their own abilities.
Did you play the other ones, Taylor?
I played a bit of 3, and I can't remember how far I got in 2, but I beat the first one and played some of those expansions that it came with. But yeah.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
9.
Forgot him the reset.
Wait, has everyone done 10?
Yeah,
Okay.
10's done. It's old news.
Yeah, we're on to 9 now.
Alright, 9 for me is Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh, okay.
It was the first game. It was the game that came with my GameCube, and that was
The McDonald's game that I remember.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I played at
Yeah,
McDonald's.
that was the first time I ever played it. But it was the bundle that I got with my GameCube, and that was the first system I ever bought by myself, and it was just such an accomplishment for me. And that's like back then, it's like now, it's like when I buy a game, it's like the week later I buy another game probably. But it's like back then I had that game and my GameCube for like probably 6 months at least, like probably up to a year, and I just only played that game, and I just loved it so much, and it was such a big part of my life at that time when I bought my GameCube, and I
Nice.
loved it. It was
I think that's why we played some of our games so much over at kids' age, because we couldn't afford
Yeah,
to
that's
get
so
a
true,
bunch of
yeah.
games. And that's why I feel like, oh, I must really love that game, but it's probably, no, I probably just had like this and 2 other games.
Yeah.
Like, I remember playing a terrible game over and over. They made a Minority Report game for the GameCube, and it was awful when I played when I was older, but I remember playing it a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I think that's the same thing, but I'm with you with Sunshine. That's another one I should put my honorable in. That'd be my top 20. I love Sunshine
Yeah,
so
Sunshine.
much.
like it was just every time I played it, I just had so much fun.
Mhm.
It was just
GameCube era, man.
yeah.
Love it.
So that's my top 9.
That's your top 9?
That's my
Yeah,
number.
he's
number
done.
9.
That's your number
That's
9?
my number 9.
Cool, I'll go next. Number 9, Fallout. I haven't played...
First one?
No, Fallout. I'll go with New Vegas.
Okay.
Really, that surprises me.
Well, because here's the thing. I didn't own 3 for until after I played New Vegas. And then I got on PC, and it has a lot of crashing errors. So I never really got to play through a ton of it, but... I remember my cousin used to play it all the time, and I loved just watching it because it was just like the coolest game ever.
Yeah.
This was way before I had an Xbox or anything to even run this kind of thing. And but yeah, I'd give it to Vegas just because that's the one I played more of.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there to be said? The game just has infinite replayability. You can do whatever you want. Every time you play it, I guarantee there's something new you will find. I love the music that they go for in that game. So good. Graphics are, I mean, even though it's kind of like brown and green and a lot, it has good graphics. I don't know what to say about that because it's kind of like iffy. I feel like
kind of like an art.
it's like it doesn't look that great,
yeah.
but that's what exactly they're going for.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee it yet, but I imagine 4 will take over.
I knew this. I was just going to ask you if you think 4 will take the top
I think
spot.
it probably will.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, that's my 9.
Yeah.
Not top 9, just number 9.
Just number 9. So I guess I'm gonna go with Conquer. Yeah, Kirkland's
I
non.
played it.
Kirkland knows.
Is that the one with the chipmunk or the whatever he
The
is?
squirrel.
Oh, that
Yeah.
game. Okay.
Yeah, that was like I think one of the first games that I ever actually like fully beat and played all the way through. And I just remember being so surprised at how offensive it was, being a child playing this game. Like, there's a sunflower with massive tits.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're just,
I've
like,
heard about this.
so in love with the
Yeah.
squirrel's boobs, or with the sunflower's boobs, and you get to, like, jump on it. There's, like, literally a boss is a giant pile of shit,
Yeah.
and he, like, shoots corn at you. And,
You would love Binding of Isaac. This is the game for you. Okay, anyway.
And anyway, it's amazing. It's on the Rare Replay if someone's looking to try it. It's absolutely amazing.
How is that version of it? Rare Replay, is it still good?
Yeah, it's literally
The exact
the
same?
N64 version
Nice.
ported on. So they even have like the square screen and everything. It's not even made widescreen. So
Cool.
yeah, I love it, and it's not super disgustingly difficult. Like I beat it as a kid, right? So it's
I played it a lot when I was younger, but I put it on Xbox.
yeah. They
It's-
Conquer's Bad Fur Day
Yeah,
remastered it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that one was so much fun. Like
I-
I didn't own it, like because I didn't have an Xbox, but I remember just always going to my neighbor's house and just like I don't even know what age I was, probably under 10, and it should be like M rated. It's just like I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, money yells at you. Come here,
yeah.
you little piece of.
Yeah, it's so like it was so original, and I just love that game.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, I was just
said
gonna mark down the
S.
time.
I said S.
Okay,
But
that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it was a great game. I really liked it.
I just do that because last episode I got really lost. I knew Taylor swore at some part, and I just didn't catch it for a while because you were so quiet. So,
anyways, number 9, kind of almost a piggyback off of Taylor, so it's not fear, but a game that was like I remember as being really scary, but being really fun. And I don't know if this will be a controversial thing to say, but my favorite Zelda game, number 9 for me, is Majora's Mask.
That's not controversial. I'd say a lot of people would have that opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of people I say that to, they're like, oh, like, it has to be
There's
Ocarina.
people who think it was too hard, and like
It was
just
hard.
gave up, or people who absolutely loved it.
I remember it being really hard as a kid, but I think I liked that because when I was talking about like Mario and Banjo, those games were really fun. But at the end of the day, you could beat them eventually. Like you could figure out where Majora's
Are
Mask
you
felt.
insulting Conquerors? Because I just said I could beat it as
I've
a
never
kid.
played it, so I can't. What do you mean? I don't know. I'm not insulting anything. I'm just saying like no, it's not like I'm insulting the Mario 64 as well. I'm just saying like eventually you could beat them. With Majora's Mask, I felt like that was the first game to really like really challenge. Like you felt like oh, this is hard. And I just remember as a kid too. I don't think I owned many games that had a kind of scary aspect to them, you know. And I remember when you're outside or wherever, when you're just in the middle of nowhere and that sun goes down, it's on. Like, and I just I love it. And that's the same thing as Mario 64. I want to replay it this year, but yeah, it's really good. And I just remember even just as a kid, like getting the game and just seeing like the boxer and just seeing the mask, and that even just today has like left a mark on me. Like I don't have tattoos. If I got tattoos, if I was like wimping up to get them, I would easily get Majora's Mask on there. I love that game a lot, and yeah, that's the same thing. It just has another thing of a game that I truthfully have not played over a lot, but it just had a big lasting impact on me that I still think about it. So
Yeah, well, it's definitely like I'm pretty sure even if we don't have it like on our list, I think everyone here kind of agrees that Zelda's.
yeah,
Any Zelda game.
Yeah,
Really.
Zelda's just Zelda.
yeah.
Quick throw in. When I went to Anime Revolution, there was a guy dressed up as Skull Kid,
Oh.
and he had a Majora's Mask, and it actually shook. So he'd like go up to your face, and it would like shake, and it was just absolutely amazing. So if you're listening to this random guy at Anime Revolution, your cosplay was awesome.
That's the guy who keeps calling Taylor.
Anyway,
Can I be on the cast?
Taylor, what's your number 9?
You guys know Telltale, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few years ago, they put out a Jurassic Park game, and
Should have saw this coming.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
honestly, I remember going into EB Games consistently for a week, and they were sold out of it. They did not have it in stock, and so I kept trying and trying. Finally, someone traded it in, and there's one copy, and I picked it up, and I'm a huge fan of the series, if you did not know that already. I played it, and I love it. I've beaten it a few times now. I know the story doesn't... it's not true because of the movie they put out, but just playing the story and seeing this alternate twist of like how what happens after... directly after the first movie, it was...
Episode. Why are you going Star Wars on it? I caught that. Don't think I did.
It was really, really cool to see what happened, because you have what happens in the movie, and then just to see these new characters, and one of them that's in the movie, to play as him and see his story after the events of the film. I really enjoyed it, and it had a good ending if you chose it to have a good ending, and a very depressing ending if you let that happen too.
Just like life.
Yeah.
Is it like a classic Telltale game, or it's a bunch of shorter stories put into one?
It's 4 episodes put
Okay.
into one, and it's cool because spoiler alert, they even have a mosasaur in it, which is pretty neat.
Okay. No, I thought at first you were talking... I can't even remember this game, actually.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about
Never heard of it.
a terrible Jurassic Park game that came out a couple of years ago. I'm
No,
sure you
no.
played that.
I don't.
It's.
There's a
I'll
few
get
Jurassic
into it
Park
after,
games I've
but,
played, but-
it was really bad.
No,
Not this one,
was
though.
good. This one was good. I
Sure,
liked it.
worst top 10. Or like our
That's gonna happen one
Yeah.
time. Yeah. Kirkland?
Oh yeah. Number
Reset
8.
us, yeah.
Number 8. Number 8 for me was, I wanted to put the full series, but I know I couldn't. So it was one game, Sly 2.
Yeah.
Sly 2, The Band of Thieves. That was the first one I actually played, and like no other one compares to it. Maybe the third, but like this one was just the number one game for me at the time. Like I would always go to my neighbor's house and just play this game with him, and I ended up buying.
Did you
it from
play
him.
like most of your games at your neighbor's house? Like Conquerors
Well,
and Sly?
he had a
and-
PS2 and an Xbox, so I mean, but
I had to be his friend.
but yeah, like this game is like me and my cousin. Like after I bought it off my neighbor, me and my cousin would just play it for hours and hours and hours, and it was just. I loved it. I loved the storyline. I loved the characters. I loved the gameplay. Everything about it was just so much fun. It was like the original Assassin's Creed, basically. Like it was just you're like a thief and you sneak around, you pickpocket guys with your cane, you like crack
the
safes.
noises in it too, like the tiptoeing.
It's like a cartoon. Yeah, or like it's amazing. I loved it so much, and I had to put it on my list for sure.
Cool beans.
I'll back it being a good game.
It was amazing. I loved it.
Hashtag cool beans.
Hashtag cool beans.
Hashtag safe hand, Wolf, before I forget.
We never forget. Whenever we're closing down the episode, that always comes to my head. So.
You know,
Don't
well,
worry,
it's
we'll
done now. Check. There we go.
Okay,
Make fun of Taylor.
I'm up.
Not
You're up.
unchecked.
Number 8.
All right, number 8. I got to do it. Minecraft.
oh, you beat me to it.
Now,
It's on mine too.
important. Now, Minecraft is not on my list for like what the game is today because I almost don't like what it is today. Because there's just, it's not a bad thing, but there's just too much going on, and like I don't understand half the things you can make now. I don't know what the point of any of it is. You can beat the game, which I think kind of defeats the purpose of what it was originally. And I think all that stuff is cool, but I just remember I originally playing the game like before it had blown up. I'm gonna go with the hipster argument here because it's quite important. Someone I was subscribed to on YouTube was just like had this video. I was like, oh, I'll check it out, and it was just like, whoa, this game looks weird. It's just blocks everywhere. And I remember all I saw him do was like take down a tree and like make a crafting bench and make like a pickaxe or something. That's all I had. I had never heard of Minecraft up to this point. I was like, wow, this game looks really awesome. I gotta try it out. And it was amazing because I've always loved to like games that allow you to create levels and whatnot. And so this was like the ultimate experience. You could create whatever you wanted to, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know if there was enemies. I didn't know if a diamond was the final thing to get at that point in the game. Now you can get hundreds of millions of other things, but back when the game was super simple, it was something very special, I thought, and it was very worthy of top 10. I put it on top 8.
Still was in the top 10 of selling last month, even.
Yeah,
Like the current ones right now. Like
yeah.
that and
No,
GTA are
the game
still
has
top 10.
exploded
Yeah,
to.
it's
It's
on
probably
consoles and stuff.
Yeah.
but
that
it's
and League of
insane.
Legends are just like on top of everything right now.
Yeah,
but-
especially with Minecraft, kids love it. So
Yeah.
that once you have kids, game over. You print the money. Like you can because they're gonna want it. Like that's Christmas, that's birthday, that's chore money. Like if they have something they like,
And that's when I saw like they had like Minecraft toys. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'm not gonna buy them, but that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love the creeper that you like hug it and it like actually goes.
That's hilarious.
Oh.
I have it, like Minecraft. I don't really play it on my own.
Mhm.
Like I never really did, but I just love like getting like tons of friends over and you just do a LAN party and you just do
Yeah.
like you just like do anything. Like you
Mhm,
just create
exactly.
like, a house, do anything. And yeah, it was really really fun. Like I love that game. I could go back to it now and still have so much fun.
Yeah, there's always like, especially with servers now, you can play Hunger Games,
Yeah,
you can play
exactly.
this,
Hunger
that,
Games
you
is
play
awesome.
whatever the heck you want because there's like an absurd amount of mods for it now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my number 8.
Anyone
Jessica?
else?
Anyone else? Anyone
Because
else have
mine
any?
are not in order, I'll just back on Minecraft right now.
Sure.
I actually didn't expect anyone else to have that in their list at all. I was like...
I thought I was going to be judged for having
Yeah,
that.
that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, they're going to make fun of me, but I'm going to say it anyway. No, I've invested a disgusting amount of hours
It was
into
so
Minecraft.
unique at the time. Now there's like 100 games just like it, but when it came out, it was crazy.
Yeah, disgusting amounts of time into that game. Like, you can go into creative mode and play, build whatever, but I actually, built a castle in normal mode. Like, went...
I remember
Yeah,
I used to listen to a podcast weekly, and I would just listen and just build this castle. And it wasn't just an ordinary castle, like it was in the air, and it was like...
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I don't know why, I never used it, I just built it. It was fun, I
Be
guess.
like, I gotta go to bed in an hour. I guess I'll play Minecraft right now, and then it's like, oh, look at that, it's 4 in the morning. I have to be up in 2 hours. Because you get so involved in it. It's so great. I absolutely love Minecraft. It's a time killer. It honestly sucks up so much time. So I'm gonna back on the Minecraft.
Cool.
So I probably would have put it higher than 8 actually, just because of how much time I've invested into it.
I think the reason I didn't is because I almost don't like the route it's gone, even though you can still do really simple, just basic things.
Have
But
you beat the Ender Dragon?
no, because it's
I
impossible.
beat the Ender
It's
Dragon.
impossible.
I beat the Ender Dragon, so
What's
Anything is impossible. Or possible.
well,
Everything's
it's
impossible.
because to find one of the
Just quit a life
strongholds,
now.
you have to just throw the Ender things forever.
the Eye of
But
the Enderman.
I just didn't have that many. I just kept throwing them, and I kept tracking it, and it would just never end. So I could never do it.
Yeah, no.
It's ridiculous.
I did it. You can do it. I believe in you. Go back.
No,
to
what
Minecraft.
what I'm saying is finding the
Just do
stronghold
it.
is completely RNG, and
Do it.
RNG was not my favorite.
That's it.
They're making fun of us. I
But
knew this was gonna happen.
No, we're gonna find a Shia LaBeouf,
Shia LaBeouf. What about Shia LaBeouf?
Just do it.
who I saw from a headline has moved in with his girlfriend today. I don't know why I'm bringing
Why
that
is
up.
that a headline?
It's one of the last things
We
I
said
saw on
we,
my phone.
we
Why
said we
does
don't
anyone
talk about
care?
famous people licking donuts in this cast. So
I don't think he's licked don't. Oh, I'm not gonna get into that. There's a really funny story about him, but I'm not gonna.
Alrighty.
anyway,
Holy
go ahead.
I did just.
You're up, Travis. So how about you
The
quit
heartbreak,
slacking
I
off?
just realized.
Just do it.
I just realized just how many Nintendo games I have. I think it's.
Yeah, you're a
I think it's
fanboy.
5. I love
Right.
Nintendo. Like
Don't
that's,
you know that this cast is all about bashing Nintendo?
That's why. That's why I do bash so much because I love it so much. But it's just like you're in that abusive relationship where if you love somebody but they're just an awful person, like that's
League of
an.
Legends for me.
Because you said it wasn't on your list, and I scoffed at it a bit earlier. But Mario Party 2, in particular, is on there for me because once again, just going the route of playing it so much as a kid, and now even now, when we did it for my birthday and whatnot, and just having friends over, I still find playing that the most out of 64 games with a bunch of people. And I don't know, there's just something about that particular Mario Party. I love it. I love almost all the mini games. Screw the pod racing or the hot racing, whatever that track one is. Do you remember the name of that one? When your little head's in the track. I hate
What
that.
is it called? I don't know.
I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? And if you go too fast, you spin
yeah.
out. Other than that, the rest of the mini games are pretty good. But yeah, it's good. Last one with Donkey Kong, so that's like a little insider there. But yeah, it's just lots of fun. It's just good classic Mario Party. I hate Mario Party nowadays where you can't steal stars and you're moving together. Like everything I love about Mario Party seems to be gone. And yeah, I've never bought a new one probably since the Wii era, and I just play those ones over. I like that one. I really like 4 as well because the GameCube graphics are nice. Or sorry, I was wrong. 4 was the last one with Donkey Kong. Sorry, I was wrong. But yeah, Mario Party 2. I just played it so much, and yeah, it's just lots of fun. And
We played it recently too.
Yeah,
Still
and it
fun.
still holds
Still
up.
good.
Like that's the other thing. It's some games where it don't, like Diddy Kong Racing in a way, and GoldenEye too a bit. But Mario Party, you still all you gotta do is tap A or tap this back and forth. You know, like Hexagon Heat. You just move your stick around. Like it's just basic.
Are you
stuff.
trying to appeal to me right now by talking about Hexagon?
Hexagon, you can ask them. It's one of my favorites minigames. One of my top 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I love
It's a good minigame.
Hot Rope Jump because I always win.
Oh,
I got that in the bag every time.
that's a good one.
Yeah, but yeah, Mario Party 2. I love the franchise in general, kind of up to 5, but then, yeah. Number 8 for you?
Well, my number 8.
No, we don't have all day here, Taylor. Come on.
Crinkle the paper right by the microphone more.
No, don't actually.
Yeah,
do
that was.
He's rolling up a joint, actually. This is a...
We hate Nintendo.
Now that we're all high, let's break out the Minecraft.
Oh man,
Oh man.
that's an
And my
idea.
playlist.
That's an idea.
My playlist.
Yeah, that's
peanut butter
totally
jelly.
new idea. Never touched that one before.
Yeah.
So, my number 8 is Luigi's Mansion for GameCube, not the 3DS one. I'm pretty sure it's Luigi's first big standalone game, right? Unless I'm missing something.
Probably.
He's had a couple games where he was in the title, but I feel like that was the one that made him. He was already a household name, but I feel like it put him on its own of like him getting his first like good game of.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. Then yeah, that's. I remember going over to my cousins and we would just pop that in and we would play it so much. What?
I don't know. He's laughing. Why are you laughing?
Everyone has all these
Just
memories
like-
of playing games with people, and all my memories are playing at home by myself.
I just like how he pops it in.
We
Just
do.
Pop it in.
We just hit that
Yeah.
button and it flicks. And
No,
we're
I
just
know.
like,
It's
pop.
totally accurate to GameCube. I just thought it was funny.
Pop.
You didn't have to bring it up, Travis.
I don't know.
Alright, so you pop the game, and what happens next?
Well, we turned the power on so that
That's a good idea.
it's a good play.
And it doesn't turn on. What do you do next? Make sure it's
No, you gotta hear. You gotta have to make the GameCube noise.
Once you hold the Z button, then it's like
Oh yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
hidden Easter eggs.
I remember that was cool. Anyways, though, so I remember playing that and just the one thing I liked about the original Luigi's Mansion over the new one is there was just one big mansion. It wasn't going off to other mansions. It was one big mansion with tons of stuff you could explore and finding the booze. I love that.
The booze.
The booze, yeah, you could find booze in the original Luigi's Mansion.
Mario, Luigi, why was he drinking in the house
Yeah.
then?
Because there were ghosts.
Kirkland got it.
I didn't clue in right away.
I know.
He's thinking of Luigi's Mansion.
I know.
But yeah, I got a lot of good memories of that game. It was a great story. I loved how Mario wasn't the hero for a change. You got to be Luigi and save the day.
Screw you, Mario.
And I love that intro cutscene where it's like, oh, this awesome mansion and this, that you see in front of you, and then he drops in this piece of beep mansion in front of
Garbage.
you.
You
Yeah,
say
just
garbage.
garbage. Just disgusting, absolutely hideous. And he decides to go in there.
He's looking for his brother. He has to go in there.
No, he won a mansion. That's why he went in there.
Oh, right.
Remember?
I love it. It's so cheesy and so stupid.
What
Like,
a mansion.
oh, it's
Yeah,
so good.
so disgusting, and he goes in there. I mean,
Not a bad stage in Smash either.
yeah, it's my favorite stage in Smash. I'd probably say that and Pokemon Stadium. But anyways,
I'd agree, actually.
it's a great game. A lot of good memories.
Cool
All
beans.
right, number 7.
We're on to 7.
Number
Ooh,
7.
seven's
Lucky
a
number
good one.
7.
Lucky
Seven
number 7.
is where it gets interesting.
Okay, for 7, I had to put this one at number 7. 007, Nightfire. That was my.
You gotta put it at 7.
Yeah, I had to put it
007.
at 7 because for 007.
I'll agree with you. I don't know if you gotta tell me why it's top 10. I think it was a really good game,
Top
but I haven't
10.
played it in a long
For
time.
me, because that was the only game I ever played,
Okay.
like on repeat. Like I would every single day. I would just
On
it would-
repeat.
Yeah, like it would. Like I'd play the storyline. It wasn't the greatest storyline.
No.
Like, let's just say that. But I would play
It
it like
wasn't.
60 times, like just because I loved the game so much. And But for me, like what took the cake was the split screen for sure. Like I would just play that with my friends forever. Like we would unlock all the characters, or I would on the story mode. That's why I played so much. But then we could play all the characters. Then you have the guy like Odd Job, and we'd literally just be on two sides of different maps, just tossing the hat at each other, just trying to kill each other, and you'd do it. And we were just like 1v1s like that, and that was just such a big game for me. Like that was probably the biggest game. Like I think I got that for Christmas following the only time I played Super Smash Bros. Or sorry, not Super Mario Sunshine, and that was the second game I ever had on GameCube, and I just only played that. Like it was just so much fun for me. I don't know. That was my favorite 007.
I really liked it
I've
a
only
lot
played
too.
GoldenEye, so.
The multiplayer is good. That was like my first experience with like shooter,
Yeah.
capture the flag.
Yeah, that was yes.
Yeah, and we talk about all the time that there's that snow level where there's like the two
yeah,
towers.
that's what I was
there.
talking
It's
about.
so
and we'd
good.
both be on each tower. We'd just be throwing the hats at each
Yeah.
other because if you hit one, you're dead. Like, it's just hilarious.
The story in the game is what it is, but it's still fun because every James Bond movie or game that wasn't based on a movie, it's all out there. Like there's one where he's dealing with clones and like it's just like the
Yeah.
most random thing, but it's still good.
Yeah, I had to put it on there though, just because
Yeah.
that was the biggest game for me. Like,
Yeah.
that was my Call of Duty of like my childhood.
I can
Like,
see
I just
that.
only played that. So yeah, number 7.
Cool.
On to you.
I'm up.
Big things from Dylan.
Spelunky.
Never
Nah.
heard of it.
Exactly.
No,
That's
I'm kidding. I always see you play it.
Yeah. So you got. I'm guessing none of you know what it is. So it is a roguelike, which doesn't really tell you what the gameplay is like, but it means that every time you play it, it's randomly generated in a completely different set of levels than you've ever played before. So that alone means the game has like infinite replayability. It is a super difficult game, but it's difficult in a sense of how like competitive Melee is difficult because you have like so much control of your character, but it's really hard to get it down to a point where you can feel the character perfectly and do exactly what you want to. That's like one of the difficult aspects to it. But it's so brutal, but also probably one of the best soundtracks of anything I can think of. Super good soundtrack. I love the look of the game. It's like kind of cutesy. I don't know how to explain it, but it looks super cool. And then pretty much there's a whole bunch of like secret areas in the game. So, and like I didn't look up any of these things. So when you actually like find, it's one of the games that out of any time you find like a secret entrance or something, it's like, holy. I was about to swear a little bit, but holy shnikes! Your mind is blown. I love the game so much. Even when I started going to Melee tournaments and I needed a new gamer tag because I didn't like my old gamer tag, I just picked Spelunky just because I love the title of the game too. Everything about the game is amazing. Amazing game. 10 out of 10.
And yet no one here has played it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well...
We're letting you down.
A 10 out of 10? Why is it only a 7 then?
Why isn't your number one?
Yeah.
Because I give lots of games 10 out of 10 ratings.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
Well, obviously you don't play enough games if you only have like one game.
Yeah,
No, I just put 10 out of 10 in games that I feel like, I don't know, those are...
So
that
you're
would be
saying
my
you
top
only
three.
have one
This
game
is-
and
'cause
you like
this-
the 10 out of 10?
this-
I'd say I have like 5. Because the 10 out of 10, that's like perfect.
Well,
Because with every game there's something wrong.
That's the thing. That's where if that's what defines your list. Like for example, my list has Modern Warfare 2 on it, which is a terrible game, really. Like it honestly is. It was completely broken the whole time it was out, and it wasn't a good game. But like it's like that game was so special, and I had so many good memories playing that game.
But you take that over Spelunky then? Cause
Yeah, I do.
You take...
Yeah,
Really?
my list...
Because the
Yeah, I
memories that
agree.
I got from that game. Spelunky, it's been out. I've only had it for like 3 years, and that's might be why. I mean, obviously, I'm probably gonna play it forever, just because it has infinite replayability, and I love it. But as it stands right now, it's sitting at number 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only been one like DLC for it, and it was just like additional characters, which none of the characters are actually different. They just look different. So I mean, there hasn't been like new content for it, which I don't know. Maybe that's why it's at 7. I don't know, but it's an amazing.
I was just wondering, you just
amazing
talked
game.
about it so highly, and I was surprised that it's at 7.
Well, I've played a lot of good games in my life, Travis.
That's good. That's good.
It is good.
Yeah, like you said, this list isn't based on like
This-
what we're playing
yeah.
at this exact moment. It's like
No, I know, but he's talked about it in the past, and he's talking about it again, and when he said 10 out of 10, that to me was just surprising that, because then you don't, it was just surprising for me. But like I said, it's different the way I critique lists. Because
It might be 10 out of 10 in the
Call of Duty
in terms
Modern
of like
Warfare
I
2
don't.
for
There's
you
like
is
no
not a 10 out of
errors.
10, right?
There's nothing wrong with it. I
But like
guess.
Modern Warfare 2 isn't a 10 out of 10 for you, right?
No.
See, but that's where it's just where I'm different with my list. Like for a score rating, I'll put it kind of higher, where I feel like my top 5 games are the ones I'd put higher than the other ones, but that's where it's a different list. I was just surprised that it was number 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that one.
okay.
Actually, well, again, quickly, it's only $15, and you can frequently find it on sale. So I recommend everyone check it out.
Yeah,
I don't
is
know my
it
wish
Steam,
list.
Steam
Yeah.
only?
No, Xbox, PlayStation, not Nintendo because
This is-
Because
we hate Nintendo.
Just
And then-
because it's Nintendo.
just
But yeah, it's even on Vita. And
Oh, wow.
Not on 3D. Not on 3DS because of Nintendo. But
Is it one player only?
no, there is multiplayer. You can play through the whole game with 4 people.
Is it like
It's
actual or like Mario co-op where it's like one
it's kind of
person
limited because it only follows first player in terms of the camera following them,
plays? Okay.
and it's a very difficult game. So it's kind of hectic. But there also is a like a deathmatch game mode, which is just like certain maps with just tons of weapons and craziness. It's similar to like Bomberman.
Okay.
It's kind of like that's like the multiplayer you can do. Not a game I am putting number 7 because of the multiplayer. I didn't even bring it up because it's not something that I immediately think of. But it does have the option there if you want to play it. Up to 4 people.
Up to 4?
Not online, unfortunately.
Okay. Kirkland, you don't get to play. Sorry. It's on your wish list, though.
Yeah,
So.
I'll add on my wish list. I'll play them.
Why doesn't he get to play?
I just picked someone
Because there's
random.
5 people here.
Yeah, only 4 people can play.
Oh.
That was the joke, and then...
I
Okay,
see.
never
She
mind.
picked
Kirkland, you're in. Travis, you're out.
That's fine. No.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, why throw him out? I'm the one that's gonna duck out of this game. I'm telling you, I will not commit.
Everyone check it out. It's $15. Find it on sale for $5 frequently. Anywhere.
Oh.
I'll put it on my
Shoutouts.
Xbox wish list.
Do
you
it.
know.
I don't know how Xbox sales work. Do they do sales for
Yeah.
games on there? Cool.
Yeah, well, for
I'm
sure
sure
it
it'll
is.
go on sale.
Okay, perfect. I'll keep an eye out. Okay, 7. I'm gonna go ahead and throw Spyro out there.
Spyro.
That was like,
It should have been on my honorable mention for sure.
Yeah, me too.
it's Spyro.
It's amazing.
I mean, that was like, I think my first. No, I mean, I had like Nintendo, but like first game for PlayStation was Spyro, and I had like Spyro 2, Spyro 3, Spyro Year of the Dragon. Like I had like all the Spyros. I have Spyro for PS2 and PlayStation 3. So Spyro is just love Spyro.
Which one would you put like as your favorite?
Probably the one I have on my list is just Spyro, the
Alright.
original.
Cool.
Just, I used to, like I said, it was my first game when I got my PlayStation. I invested quite a lot of time. My mom used to actually like sit down and play with me because I couldn't beat it by myself. So, I just have some good memories. I played with someone, played with my mom. This is my friend's story. So, no, Spyro is just, I don't know, just lots of memories. Really one of the first main times I sat down and beat a game. So,
I agree. It's lots of fun. I don't really remember many specifics about it right now because it's been a long time since I've played it on the original PlayStation, but it's a game that I desperately want remastered, along when you said with Crash. Like, those two games, I don't care what price they put on there. If it's $600, I'll buy that. Like, those two franchises, I don't know why they haven't got around to remastering, but I'm hoping them because they're putting out, I guess the rumor is Twisted Metal Black is coming out soon for PS4.
And what is that?
It's like a PlayStation
Is it a new
2.
one?
No, it's PlayStation 2 remastered, and they're going to sell
Oh,
it.
was that one called Twisted Metal Black?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're putting out that. They're putting out Dark Cloud 2 and something else. So I
haven't played any of those PS2 games in so
Yeah,
long.
so I'm hoping they'll get around maybe to PlayStation 1 and things like that, because I really like Spyro and Crash back.
Spyro was awesome.
I don't have my
I have one for
PlayStation. So.
GameCube. I have
Yeah.
Heroes Tale.
I forgot it was on GameCube. I just think of it just as PlayStation. It's funny.
I think that's the only one that's on GameCube.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. That's just the one I have.
I'm not going to talk about it much as my number 7, because I think you'll talk about it, but I put Smash Melee on there.
Oh, yeah, I'll talk about Melee.
Okay, yeah. My quick blur was just, I liked it a lot more than the first one. I'm a big Bowser mark. Wrestling terms, Mark is just a big fanboy.
Well, that's actually one thing I was going to mention is I remember the first time I played Melee. It had probably been out for a year or two, but I didn't have a GameCube yet. And I remember I went to my friend's house, and I was like, oh my god, you can play Bowser? That is the most amazing thing. He was the first character I played.
I love Bowser.
That's one of the reasons on my top, because I can remember the first time I played it.
He was on the cover, and I was just right away bought in. I think it was the first game really as a kid looking at, feeling like it was really beautiful. Like, just the graphics in the game. And obviously now the graphics are so much superior, but still the GameCube graphics were just so good. And I always forget the stupid name of it, but what is the story mode or whatever it is?
Subspace, I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's in Brawl, though.
Yeah, but it's in GameCube, isn't it?
Nope.
They have a mini version
There's an
of
adventure mode.
it. Oh, that's what
It's
I mean.
not nearly...
Yeah,
It's not even comparable to Subspace, honestly.
True, but I just don't like the Wii version. I just have bad memories of it, so it's not as good as that. But I still really, as
Eventually,
a kid,
it was still really, really
and that's
cool.
what I remember of. Like, oh, the brawls were cool, but I always felt with Smash it needed something like that. And when I got that, that was good enough for me. Just running stage to stage, just fighting a bunch
And
of
the
random
events
enemies.
too.
Yeah, like
fighting Giga Bowser.
yeah, like I didn't like the Wii one. The storyline is great, but I was just fine with, like you said, the adventure mode. So yeah, I love Smash Melee, and that's my number 7. You'll talk about it a lot more than me, but it and just Smash games in general, all of them are fun. Putting Nintendo characters together to fight.
Mine's on my list for like different reasons, right? But as in terms of like just casually playing games,
Yeah.
I think most people would put Melee at like the best Smash game. It
Yeah.
really was amazing.
And we've
like,
talked about that
the
before.
graphics are like I love them. The game looks, I think it looked way better than Brawl did,
Yeah.
personally, and has amazing music and awesome stages.
Yeah, I feel
Good
like with
cast.
each Smash, even the original, because it is older, they're always missing something, and that's why with the GameCube one, I never feel like it's missing. I feel like it's a complete game for that time. Where other times, like I said, the Wii one should have been updated. Wii U has terrible modes,
Yeah.
and the first one's great, but it's still just so old and kind of clunky now.
Yeah.
So that's why the GameCube one I think is the best one. So it's not just a suck up to Dill.
Taylor, you're up.
Well, my number 7 is called Sins of a Solar Empire.
Okay, I've never heard of that one.
I know that.
You know that one? Have you ever played
Wow,
it?
Kirkland seems to know like everything today. Actually, I'm quite impressed.
Thank you guys.
It's a Steam game, right?
It's
It's a
Right?
Steam
it came
game?
out, it
Right?
came out on a disc.
You're
'Cause
double
it came
checking?
out-
Well, no,
Did
I'm
it
not
come out
double checking.
before?
I'm just
It came out a
asking.
long time ago.
So it's a PC game.
It probably came
It's a
out like
PC
before
game.
Steam.
I'm just saying
honestly.
because you're a Steam player. I wasn't double checking.
It was
I
on
knew
my
it
wish
was on
list for a
disc.
little bit.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
And then what?
But-
Took it off?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
not.
don't know. I didn't want to put in the time.
I don't. What is the genre? I don't even know
It's
what
an
we're talking about.
RTS game, right?
Yeah, it's
Real-time strategy.
space RTS, and basically, I put in a lot of time. I could sit there for about 5+ hours just because it's so in depth. You start off with one planet, and you have a couple asteroids, and you mine the asteroids, and you just build up a fleet of ships, basically.
Mhm.
And I love it because I like my RTS games where they don't have an end. I love just being able to like. The end goal is to destroy your enemy, but I love the fact that literally you can take your time to do it, and as long as you don't let him kill you, and you can just keep taking your time and just doing what you want to do. I love it because you can scroll out and you see your planet, and there's like 10 other planets and the sun in the middle forming your solar system. You can go to all those planets, dominate them, and you can win through politics, through war, through science, like all these different branches that you can expand on. And as you scroll out, you see another solar system with another like 20 planets around that, and then 3 more solar systems. It's so huge and so in depth, and I really, really love putting a lot of time into that and making a huge fleet with all of these ships and just seeing it go into battle and just seeing the whole above this planet just light up with just laser fire. I enjoy seeing those kinds of things. I don't know why. I like to recreate cinematic kind of moments like
Well,
that.
that actually reminds me. I probably should have given an honorable mention shout out to Civilization.
I was totally gonna. After he was done, I was like, I'm gonna
You
shout
could
out
win
to
with science, with this, with that. Anyway,
Civilization.
that's unrelated to your game, but
I'm definitely,
No,
No,
not
I think
unrelated.
it's similar.
It's
I'm
similar.
definitely gonna put it back on my wish list.
Yeah,
Because
you
I
should.
love RTS games. Like, I was gonna put like 4 RTS games on my list, but I'm like, oh, I should probably put 1. But yeah, like that, because I love RTS games. But the problem with RTS games is a lot of them are so small. Whereas like that one, like you said, it's
Oh,
on
yeah.
such a vast scale.
It
which
is.
That sounds cool to me. I'll definitely check it out. Put it on my wish list.
Cool.
And back to me again.
Number 6.
Number 6. Number 6. Which one was number 6? Oh yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I know you mentioned Battlefront 1 in your honorable mention, but
That's a
Battlefront
great
2 for me, that was like the first. No, it can't be the first. It was like the first. Yeah, it probably was.
Game
like the
introduction
first,
to
the
Star
first
Wars?
shooter Star Wars game I ever played, and it was on the computer. I remember I like gave my mom like my $20 to go to Toys R Us to go buy it for me. I was so excited because all my friends had it, and like it was like 6 of us, and we'd all be able to connect online. It was like the first time we could do that, really, and it was just like I just remember playing that game over and over and over, like every single day after school. I would just play that until I go to bed, basically. And you just meet up with your friends online. You play like on Camino, yeah, and then you play Mos Eisley Assault, and it's like the new one's coming out, which makes me just so much more excited about that one. Like looking back on the old memories of Battlefront 2, because Battlefront 2, the space battles were amazing. And I don't know if you guys
Don't even ask Taylor about the space battles. He'll finish the whole podcast about why Battlefront 3 is gonna suck because there's no space battles.
It's not Battlefront 3, it's just Battlefront.
I know.
No.
Yeah, those first 2 didn't
Yeah,
happen.
but Battlefront 2, like, I just remember playing, like, I would play, like, one map forever, and then once that's done, you just go play another map, because it was such a big game. Like, it felt like the storyline I really liked. It was, you're following, like, right before, the stormtroopers became stormtroopers. It's kind of like the fall of the Republic and stuff like that. I really liked it, because you played as both sides. You played as the good guys at first, then you transition. And it was really cool point of view from the storyline, but like for me, what took the cake was the online. Like it was just so much fun playing with friends, and like Mos Eisley Assault, you just play as the heroes. You just have like Jedi battles in the arena. Like it was just so much fun. It was such a good game.
I
had
always
fun on
just
this.
did the heroes, so
Yeah.
I barely play with the stormtroopers. Actually,
I so many hours in that game.
The campaign definitely, for me, I remember, because when you played as the clones, you really got to hear their point of view. Like
Yeah.
when you
it
stormed
goes
the
like
Jedi
the
Temple,
journals.
too.
Like every mission,
Yeah.
it goes through the journals of like their point of view of like what's going on, and like if you watch the movies, which is cool. It's
such a good game.
yeah, it's a different point of view of it, and I really loved it. It was amazing. at the time, it was like the best thing.
I still think it holds up. I played it
Yeah.
like a year ago, and it still was
I
fun.
rebought it on Steam just because it had such a big impact on me.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, I'm up.
You're up.
Number 6, Fire Emblem.
Oh,
Is this one on your list?
honorable mention for sure.
Yeah.
It's just I wasn't a part of the series.
Yeah,
So much.
that's true. So if I had to pick my favorite, I'd say Sacred Stones, which is the first one I played on Game Boy Advanced, I think, SP, something like that. So I played 5. I think there's only been 5 released in North America. There might be more like re-releases, I don't know, but 4 out of 5 of them have been really good. So that's a pretty good ratio for a game, first of all. I just love it. This like strategy elements to it. It's super unique, I think. No other game really did strategy like that. I felt that I had played it at that point. So I loved it, and I was always like, when I was younger, I was so into like medieval, just in general, like swords and stuff. So that game fit the bill perfectly. What else to say about it? Well, yeah, pretty much just an amazing game.
The first one I played was when you lent me,
Mhm.
Fire Emblem Awakening, and like I'm so late to the series. Like, when did it start? Like forever ago, right?
Well, it started there's like 13 of them out
Yeah,
now or something,
exactly,
but
yeah.
they didn't come to America until,
yeah.
gosh, I don't, the one that Sacred Stones, I don't even know when it came out.
But the first one I played was Awakening, and I just
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I loved everything about it because I love strategy games. As you guys know, I love RTS games. I almost put 5 on my list. But I love the fact that you got so attached to the characters because it's like it was the first game I ever played where when they die, they die. Like,
Mhm.
they're done. Like you can't
Exactly,
ever
yeah.
see them again. And it's like and then you learn their story behind them, and you're like, oh, this character's so good. And I just
And
remember,
dude, that's you have to go back because there's so many characters in
Yeah.
Awakening that they had to make them all stereotypes that they
Yeah.
could come up with enough characters.
Yeah.
But the old ones, like, the characters are so much better.
yeah,
And, I mean, obviously, like some in the new one, like Lucina and whatnot, they're all
Yeah.
really
Oh,
good characters. But
it's amazing. I love it.
and then even the GameCube and the Wii versions had really, really sick cutscenes, like
Yeah.
sweet cutscenes.
Yeah,
So that was pretty amazing at the time.
Pretty sweet.
yeah.
Pretty sweet.
I was pretty blown away by like the combat just on the 3DS. It's like
Yeah.
actually like them fighting, and it's like a little.
It has a huge learning curve, and even,
Yeah, it does.
I've never
for sure.
like beaten even one level on hardest difficulty. Like if you want it to, the game is like impossible. Like
Yeah.
every single choice you make is either going to cost you your whole world.
Yeah,
or...
exactly. And then you lose like 4 guys.
Yeah, and
It's
like
permanent.
no other game has done that.
Yeah,
Like, you lose a
yeah.
character and they're gone. So
Yeah, I love that about it.
man, you got to play more of the series.
I do. Apparently.
Awakening is really good, but yeah,
No.
stoked for the new one.
Maybe I should actually play it.
Yeah, everyone like well, not everyone, but a lot of people just kind of gloss over
yeah.
Fire
We
Emblem, but it's so
I own
good.
it. I haven't played it.
I was really.
I have all of them if you guys want to try them. All the ones that are released in North America.
I want them all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like,
we're
I
good.
never heard about the series. Literally the reason I found out because I was watching a League of Legends streamer
Mm-hmm.
and he was streaming it just like after his game. And I'm like, what the hell is this?
Oh, Odd One? Are you talking about Odd One?
Yeah, the odd one.
Yeah, I watched his.
The general. But yes, he's played it, and he was playing on Lunatic, and it
Yeah.
was just, I don't know, I thought it was such a cool idea, how, like, it was really cool strategy to it, plus, like, the fact that there's characters, and they all have their own backstory,
Mhm.
they all have story behind them, and they can all die, basically, except for, like, the main one, like you and Chrome,
Yeah.
basically.
And there's always like something, like you can every time you play it, you can pick different characters and see different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not necessarily storylines. Like a lot of the characters are just minor and don't really do anything for the story, but you can build them in any way you want. You can
Yeah.
choose the way their class develops, and
Yeah.
their stat gain is kind of random, but you can still.
Yeah.
It's still not completely random. Amazing game, amazing series. You guys should definitely check it out.
Got a lovely 16-hour flight coming up, so I might just do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess what are we 7 still?
6.
6. Okay, so I'm on this. Don't worry. So before I say this one, I'm gonna honorable mention. I'm actually gonna shout out for Heart of the Swarm and WoW leading into this because I mean I've not been addicted like a lot of people have, but just Blizzard. And I might get flack for it, but Diablo 3.
I loved it.
Did you?
I didn't play
Okay.
Diablo 2, so
Okay. Yeah, are you the one that
I
didn't
almost
like
want
it?
to change my list just to put Diablo 2 because I honestly completely forgot about the series. Like when I was making my list, I don't really want to go too much about it. I never played 3. I've only heard bad things, unfortunately.
But all the bad things come from people who played Halo or Diablo 2.
Yeah, see, I've never played Diablo
Yeah.
2.
Damn
So.
Halo fans. Hate
I
it, yeah.
like
Halo
going into
fans
it when it got
hate this
announced. I
game.
got really excited.
Completely
The
irrelevant.
graphics to it were amazing, and I thought it was like the classes looked really cool, but I just never played it.
Well,
I want to, but
I completely, I almost 100% achievement
yeah.
for the first one. There's only one I'm missing. And then I've got on the remastered version for Xbox One, Reaper of Souls, I've
Yeah.
got, all 5 classes to full level cap,
Yeah.
right? Like, I've played an intense amount.
Why is that so funny?
I don't know what Travis is going
I'll
off
explain
about.
I don't miss something here.
Yeah, I missed something too.
I'm just laughing at him laughing about
Do you want to get it off your chest first
No,
so I can
finish-
continue?
finish your point.
Wait, what? I gotta know. What
He made
exactly?
this stupid Halo joke about like, oh, Halo fans hate the
Halo
game.
fans hate
So
it.
just imagine them playing online like, oh, those Diablo scrubs. I'm gonna bleep it out. Whatever, I don't care. But I just imagine them online like, oh, who plays Diablo? Like just ragging on like, oh, that guy sucks. He must play Diablo. Like I just imagine all these Halo fans like just hate.
How did
the
you
game.
extrapolate that much
What?
information?
I
from
do
what
that.
I
I'm
see?
really bad with stories like that. I visualize it, and
That's good
okay,
for
I'm done.
being a director, I guess.
I know. Go.
I know.
Anyway, so yeah,
Blessed.
Diablo 3. I've just...
I've always loved like the storyline though, like the lore behind all the Diablo games. I've always loved it, but that's what makes me want to go to Diablo 3. But like I said, the only thing that kept me away was all the negative feedback I've heard.
I'd pick it up again if you want to start playing it.
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to play it, but it's just one of those things I just kept pushing to the side because it was like, oh, I could play that, but then a new game's coming out, or
They did fix a lot of the issues that people had with it.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
like a lot of Diablo 2 fans were like, oh, this game's too easy or this and that. They did change a lot of things.
yeah.
I don't know. I really liked it. And, I mean, as far as co-op goes, too, right? It was nice. I mean, you
Yeah.
kind of had, the one person is kind of the main camera,
Yeah.
kind of. But, I mean,
What was your main class?
I've done all 5.
What is your favorite?
Doctor.
Same.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I was so into Diablo 2 that they changed like the Necromancer, and that was my favorite thing ever. But like, I know it's kind of like Witch Doctor, but like not really. Like Necromancer, you have like 58 skeletons, and that's what I loved about Diablo 2. Like the
It's
skills.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous.
Well,
Like,
because the
skill
classes were
trees-
more specialized in Diablo
Yeah, the
2.
skill trees were so like everywhere, really. Like I loved it because there's so much replayability. Like you play a certain class, but you can play that certain class like 3 different ways, basically.
Yeah. I don't think it's that specialized. Like, you
Yeah.
can't really derive from it that much. But, I don't know. I never played Diablo 1 or 2.
Yeah.
This was the first one I picked up, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So, it's on my list. And like I
Yeah.
said, honorable mention Blizzard. Like, I love everything that
Oh, I
Blizzard
know.
does, but I think I've invested the most time in Diablo 3 out of all the Blizzard
Yeah.
games I've played. So, that's
I would
mine.
definitely shout out Blizzard too. They made
Yeah.
amazing games.
Blizzard, hit me up.
Yeah.
I don't know what for.
and my number 6. I've gone back and forth. I even just went back and forth today about it. Find out when I get to 5. But I put Red Dead Redemption at 6. I couldn't put in the top 5 because you'll see later, but it's up there. That's another game that I consider a 10-10 game. We've talked about it a lot a couple podcasts ago, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's lots of fun. It's a game that still sticks with me. Great open world, great storyline, great gameplay,
Like,
so
the
much
greatest
fun.
storyline.
Yeah.
It like emotionally. It's like a
The
emotional
feels,
joyride. Yeah.
yeah.
Like seriously though, it's like a good drama movie
It's-
when you're watching it. Like at the end, especially.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
easily, for me, like I said, a 10-10 game, and I love that game, and
Yeah.
it was tough not to put in the top 5, but there's other things. But I went back and forth all week. This was the hardest one for me to decide where this to go, and so. Taylor, number 6.
Number 6. Well, I had to pick the original Need for Speed Most Wanted, not the new one.
Where the heck, man?
Yeah, no, honestly.
You see that? That's left field over there. That's just where that came from.
Yeah, Taylor Field.
Yeah, it's
Honestly,
not left field.
you can say what you want. Honestly, it was
You've gotten a lot of hate for this.
so much fun. It was so much fun, and especially like I don't know where to start.
Feeling a little flustered?
Yeah,
It's a good racing
all your
game.
negative.
I just have
Thoughts.
never read or seen this in like anybody's top 10 list in
Well,
the history of like everybody loves Forza.
What was
more
it?
than
How as a
Nintendo.
racing game was
I
it
don't agree
special?
with that. I would agree with that, but I wouldn't put it in my top 10 just because I have other games put in there. But I would definitely say an honorable mention to Need for Speed because I played plenty of Need for Speed games.
I don't
and
like.
I loved a lot of them.
I like a lot of them too.
Like Black or what was it? Was it Blacklist? Was that the? Whatever. It was one of the games.
No,
Look
at him.
I love it.
No idea.
I don't like games like Forza and stuff because it's just racing. Need for Speed, it was free roam. You're driving around the city, and all of a sudden, if you're doing something you shouldn't be, there's a cop who comes at you in his cop car or whatever, and you can zoom along, and if you don't try and hide from him, you can run through crash to a water tower, and that'll crash, and the cop car smash into it, and you can keep trying to get away and hide. And then, but if you don't, more cop cars show up. The cop chases were so amazing, and it gets intense to the point where you have up to like 20 cops and like pursuit vehicles trying to get at you, just trying to hit you. And there's a challenge where you have to hit 32 different cop cars, and that was the only thing I couldn't do in that game. But I completed everything else because it gets intense. They're boxing you in. Yeah. They're doing all this insane stuff, and then that was just one small part. But if you're driving and then all of a sudden you want to get into a race, you can do this race and you can win the boss's car with a pink slip. And the story was great because you're not a cop. You're hired by an undercover cop to basically put all of these gang racers out of business and be at the top of the list so that the cops can take down all these other guys. But the cops don't know you're working with them. In a sense, I don't know. It was great, and the ending was absolutely fantastic for a
Which
racing
one was this?
The original Most Wanted.
The original.
I rebought it for PS3. It was like you could it was for PS2, but you could buy it for the PS3. It was just like you could play it. Mm-hmm. Just because I loved it so much, I remember like renting it for GameCube, going to Blockbuster back when that was a thing.
Blockbuster.
Kirkland, number 5.
Okay, number 5. I was gonna put Red Dead Redemption, but we already covered that, so I don't feel like I should put it on there.
So wait, was it your 5 before?
It honestly could be like my number 3, but I don't want to put it on my list because I have too many games, and I don't want to
You didn't put it in your top 10?
Top 15 for sure, man. It's not,
I'm shocked.
Like that.
You just said it could be third.
Hard.
How could you go from?
You said that was your.
I want to change my list, honestly.
We'll do
can
revisions.
I have a tie?
Every half a year we could do a revision.
Can I have a tie?
You can do a tie because
Okay.
I'm gonna have tie.
It's number 5. They're both Rockstar.
No, for a different list.
It's both Rockstar. It's both Rockstar, so it's acceptable.
No, do an honorable mention for one, and then you get one. That's what I did with my Blizzard.
It's hard, man, but we get paid to
I just
do this.
Can't believe. Yeah, Taylor.
We get paid to talk about
us.
our top 10 favorite video games.
I just can't believe you put in Red Dead. That's
Okay.
crazy.
Okay,
Don't let Travis.
I'll go with my old number 5. I'm not even gonna talk about Red Dead right now.
There you
Number
go.
5, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That was by far my favorite Grand Theft Auto game of all time. The reason behind it is because I remember going to the mall with my cousin and my uncle, and we the day it came out, basically we went to EB Games and got GTA San Andreas for PS2, playing that 24/7, just every day pretty much. And fast forward though. To when I was in middle school, I think. I downloaded it for the computer, and I found out about the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas multiplayer mod, which basically changed my life because it just made it like I said, it is it's comparable to the current GTA Online. I'm not kidding. You could do anything. When you make your character, you can make him a used car salesman guy, just an old fat black guy with a white beard. It's just hilarious. That was one of my friend's characters. Another one of my friend's characters, just a drug dealer. You just go around people trying to sell drugs. It's hilarious, and they're all online people. They're real people. Or you could be a cop. So what you do is go around, and if people solve a crime, you are the cops basically.
I didn't even know this was part of the game.
Yeah, it's not. It's a mod. That's what I mean. Online GTA.
I zoned out for a minute.
San Andreas multiplayer. So just yeah, and.
I was looking at him.
I remember
I'm
playing.
getting really worried about you.
I put in so I disgusting amount of hours. Probably similar to your Minecraft thing on that, but it was just
Well, that is very disgusting.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was an amazing game on its own, but just because of the mod, that changed it for me. That had to be on my list. When I found out top 10, I'm like, okay, that's got to be on there. Just I could talk about it forever, but
I'm glad you picked
on.
it.
Yeah.
But we only have 2 hours, so you can't talk about it. All right, my number 5 is Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2, I definitely give number 1, but like Modern Warfare 1 was probably the best Call of Duty game in terms of like the actual gameplay. And I also really like Black Ops, but Modern Warfare 2 was the main Call of Duty game for me. And the reason is, even though I don't think it's that good of a video game, in middle school and high school, this is what every single person played.
Yeah.
And this was like, everyone just played this all day. You get home from school and this is what you do. You just play this for like 6 hours. And then, because I had an Xbox, I was on 360, even my friends who were like on PlayStation, we would still just talk about it all the time. And even though we couldn't play together, we would do like, okay, I just got another nuke, now I'm up in the nuke count, and we just like have a battle, who could get the most nukes. And man, it was one of the best, like, it was top 5 worthy of video game experiences, just playing this game with everyone. Everyone played this game. And there's, whether you're playing Domination, Team Deathmatch, Free-for-All, Search and Destroy was really sweet. I love how like Search and Destroy totally just rips off Counter-Strike, and so does Gun Game and all those things, but I love them in Call of Duty. They're still good, so that is why it's number 5 on my list.
I have absolutely nothing to add because I have played like 0 Call of Duty.
I'm looking at you to cue your
I know,
number
this
5.
was my transition, #transition. So I was going to say, I haven't played, but my number 5, if you would let me finish.
Sure, yeah.
Just saying.
You let me finish.
Even though you don't agree with it, Borderlands. For sure, it's one of the many games I've 100%, well, not many, but one of the games I've 100%ed, like, classed all the characters 100%. Number 2, I've completely destroyed that game. I love it. And it's fun. It's wacky.
It's funny,
Yeah, it's good.
Are you talking about the series or a particular Borderlands?
I would pick Borderlands 1, if I had to pick one, but the series is definitely...
I like the art style, too.
Yeah.
Cell
If you're
shaded.
picking
Cool.
series, I would have changed my list a lot.
Same.
Yeah, don't introduce that now.
Yeah, the comic book style of the art, too,
Yeah.
it's fun to look at.
And the amount of guns.
Yeah, every game gets more and more guns.
Yeah.
So now that they kind of added, you can add, break down guns and add with something. You could put something in with it, and the more you did, the better your gun you got out of it. So I don't know. It's just a good game. It's a good multiplayer. There's tons to do in it. Different classes.
I have plenty of people that would agree with you. I've never played it, so the only time I have is going to my friends' house playing on couch co-op. But I really liked it.
It's
I
a
just
good game.
never had the money to buy it when I was
Yeah,
in
through an
school.
honorable mention. Travis hasn't even had any sort of emotion for anything you just said.
I never
Whereas to
played
me,
it.
it brings
Yeah.
back
I
good
know.
memories.
Never
I feel
played
like
it.
Travis hasn't played many of my games here.
I haven't played many. Taking Taylor's list, and then it's a good experience because most of the lists I don't agree with, but it's good. Like everybody kind of like.
Going back to the honorable mention, I wanted to add the Green Army Man guys.
Oh yeah,
I
could never. That wouldn't even make my top 25.
Yeah,
That's just a
it's
fun
just
game, but
honorable
like
mention, though.
that'll make
That
a
was
top
memories.
50
That
for
was
sure.
memories.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that for sure. Yeah. Well, you talked about it a bit earlier with Grand Theft Auto. I put Grand Theft Auto 4 because I didn't have your mod experience with 3.
Yeah.
3 to me is still the one that changed the game or whatever. Like, it's not 3, it is 3. There's all these like Vice City stories and this, that. But I consider, anyways, with San Andreas, it did change the game, but with 4, I felt it just took what it did and just made it so much better as far as just the graphics. Like, it was just purely just the times. It's not that, it was so much better game. It was just like, the graphics were better. We can make the game bigger. It was just the advance in technologies. And I like the story a bit better. 5, I really like the online, and the game is beautiful, and it still is fun. They're all fun. Like, if we were to pick a series, I think that might probably be my number 1.
Yeah.
Because overall, all the games I've never really played a bad one. With 5, the main story, I didn't like as much as the other ones. It was
almost less realistic. Like they were going for more like cartoony, jokey. And
yeah,
stuff.
and like I said with 5, I've said this before, is I'd never really liked any of the characters per se. Like that's where with 4, I actually really liked Nico Bellic and his whole situation, the family. I liked the whole storyline, and I liked the whole coming to America sort of thing, and I liked the minor decisions you got to make, like, if you shoot this guy, Dimitri's will be mad, if blah, 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 and yeah, I've played that one the most, and the only reason why I did put it over Red Dead, I like Red Dead's story more than all Grand Theft Auto games, but is the replayability, and because at the end of the day, Red Dead's beautiful and everything, but I still like being able to drive a car and shoot a bazooka and everything like that, where in Red Dead you can't after you beat the game. If it was just the story, I would take Red Dead, but the after, the free roam, I picked GTA just because the amount of crazy stories and how many times, like, it wasn't even a multiplayer game, like, on couch co-op, but you would just have 5 friends sit around, like, oh, you died, here, you play, now you died, and there would always be something, and I really, really love GTA in general, but 4, for me, still remains my favorite, and I really loved 5, and San Andreas is probably the biggest as far as a game changer, but 4 I'd have to take it as my favorite.
Yeah, when you're talking about, like, just playing with other friends, like, that's what I mean, like, or, like, so much replayability, like, when me and my cousin went and got it, like, that's what we do, we didn't even touch the storyline, like, the first mission, like, when the first mission in San Andreas, you get on a bike, and, like, that's when we would just go start doing whatever, insert cheats, like, just, like, and then, like, you just,
so good.
Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And San Andreas,
why best series, probably.
Yeah, why like you put on that list, that felt like the first game when you played as a kid. You're like, you guys said that with Conquer, but for me that was that game, like, I don't know if I should be playing this, like, because the amount of, like, drugs and prostitutes and everything, and, yeah, it's just, like, I remember playing it, and I think it came out either beginning of middle school or end of elementary, and it was just like, man, like, I know I shouldn't be playing this game, but my mom doesn't know any better, so she's just gonna buy it for me.
I think that was one of the best things about working at EB Games, is, like, people would come in to buy their kids GTA, and I'd be like, did you know that this has drug use, and you can pick up a prostitute and then kill her and get your money back? And parents would be like, what? I'm not buying this for you! And the kid would just, like, be so heartbroken, and it was just like, yes.
You're evil.
Yeah, you're evil. I would never. I would let them play it. Oh,
You're
it's
a
a really
gamer. How can you
kid-friendly-
do that?
It's
That's
a really
terrible.
kid-friendly game. They'll love it.
Because, like, you know, it's one of those kids that's like, I had sex with your mom. You know, one of those kids. And
I
you're just
never.
like,
What?
you know, Call of Duty. I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty because
Not all
it's,
Call of Duty kids are like that. A lot of
It's-
them are
it's
actually
okay.
older.
I don't play Call of Duty, but this is what all kids in Call of Duty are like.
yeah, go on the internet. That's all people ever complain about. So,
Wow.
that, you know, it's not worth Call of Duty. Call of Duty's not worth my time.
Number 5 for you, Taylor.
Well,
Okay, why every time you say well?
I'm at the end of the list, you know.
End of the list?
Not end of the list, but, like, you know, I say well. 'cause
He's
we-
skipping the
I'm
we
like
go
line.
top
around.
5 like favorite podcasters. You're definitely at the bottom. It's
Oh, ouch. Ow.
a joke,
Ooh.
but yeah,
I'm number 1.
I haven't made that list.
Yeah.
Gears of War 3, I'd say is my number
That'll be the
5.
last episode.
We rate each other.
Wait, sorry, what'd you say?
Gears of War 3,
Okay.
definitely my number 5. I love the story. It was emotional. It was upbeat. It was just.
Didn't people die at the end of it?
That's why I said emotional.
And upbeat.
And upbeat before they died. It was upbeat. You just gets you going and
What's your definition of ending at this point?
What's your definition of upbeat?
upbeat. Like you learn. There's
Three's Company is upbeat.
There's a twist in the story, and you're like, okay, there's like a
Poor
new
Taylor.
hope here, and there's something we can do to end this war, and you're going for it, and then all of a sudden it takes this turn, and people die, unfortunately, and it's emotional because it's a huge character that was a big part of the series and all that, and it's sad to see certain things unfold, and there were some funny twists too, like with car mines and all that. But I just love the story. I love humanity being on like its last stand kind of a thing against an unknown enemy and all that.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
And yeah, that's it for me.
Oh, it's me again.
That's
Trump
you.
2016.
Number 4. I changed my list multiple times, by the way. since
Throughout
we
this cast?
Yeah,
Oh my
because
goodness.
I almost want to take Modern Warfare 2 off.
I
the list
didn't,
and put it
but,
on an
yeah.
honorable mention, just because we already like covered it. But
That's his game. If it's still your
Yeah,
game.
okay.
But I think we had the same.
No, yeah,
that we
yeah.
loved it for the same reason,
yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true. Because there's just too many
Wait,
lists.
so
and
is that
not
what's your
enough.
number 4? Have you said that
Okay,
yet?
number 4. Let me get my list closed.
Close. You need it open.
He's making up. I'll tell
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he needs time to stall.
Sneaking.
Figure it out.
Number 4.
No,
Kirkland
number
picks
4.
sneaking.
It had to have been Age of Mythology.
Oh,
Anyone familiar?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, like that was the best RTS game for me. It was from the Age of Empires series, and that was like the very, very first video game I ever even touched. Like Age of Empires 1, like that came out in like the 90s, I think. And my dad showed me it, and I just remember like him like showing me, and like I was so bad at the game because I'm like so young. Like he would just like give me like the cheats for like the Photon Man, like the guys with like the laser guns. So I could like build a base, and I just loved it so much because that like started the series for me. But like fast forward to the Age of Mythology, that like changed the series because I was so in love with like mythology and like ancient Greece. I just loved that growing up. It was kind of like your thing with like medieval. It was just that was like I loved that, and I loved all the movies like Troy and things like that. And it had like it was similar to Age of Mythology, although it didn't like have the mythology part of it. But I just remember playing that so much. Like friends would come over and we'd have LAN parties like with my dad and his and his friend. We just all like we'd have like 10 computers at our house and we'd play that till like 6 in the morning, like 10 hours straight, just like playing that. Like it was just so much fun. Obviously, my dad and his friends wouldn't stay up till 6 in the morning, but it was awesome for me. Like that was just like I still play it now. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I've been playing it for 15 years probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just best game ever for me.
Kirkland is 15, so just so
Exactly.
podcasters know.
Yeah.
Out of the womb.
16 in November.
Out of the womb onto the computer.
Good.
So Go
Cool.
ahead.
My number
for you.
4, and actually, as we've been talking just about everything, debating whether or not it should be here, Heroes of New Earth. And the reason it's like, should it be 4 is because there is a lot of like bad times in these kind of games, just as a result of that. It's completely based upon having 5 people who are supposed to be coherent with each other, and that
We should create our own little like Han team or League of Legends team, you know?
Han. Yeah, we'll do Han. I'll do
Or
Han.
League, because League's the best one.
Anyway,
Oh, let's not get into this now.
the game has an infinite learning curve. There's always a new role or character or something you could be doing better, and I love that. And I've been playing it for probably like 4 or 5 years now, and I recently just picked it up again. And man, the game is so hard, and I'm so bad at it. But it's so much fun to get better at this game. And I mean, yeah, it's too bad all my friends who played it pretty much have moved on. But it is one of the best gaming experience I've ever had.
Just gotta
So
come over
good.
to League.
I don't like League. League is too. I don't want to talk. I'm not going to talk about that. But
The episode-long debate.
the 3-episode long debate about which MOBA is the best.
But yeah, I agree with you on the MOBA sense.
Yeah.
How, like,
There's always something you
like,
can
yeah,
do,
like
yeah.
every time I explain like a MOBA to my friend or people who don't know what a MOBA is,
I don't know how to.
I literally explain it like it's a soccer game almost because it's like you go
true.
in and you do the same thing, like it's the same setup thing. You have your teams and like the objectives, and it's all the same, but every game is different.
That's a good point. Like
There's
I've
so-
played on the
yeah,
exact same map
yeah,
for
exactly.
95% of the time
Yeah,
I've played the game,
exactly.
but it's never been the
It's
same.
always
thing.
different. There's way too many different characters. There's way too many different abilities. There's way too many like play styles that people play the game,
Mhm.
and that's why I love it so much. Like it could probably be higher on my list, but like I said,
And
it's been
there's also
so
a lot
many
of like
on and off for me, so I had to have kept it on 10. Like I don't even want to touch it anymore.
But there's also like a lot of cool, like mostly community created maps, like you probably know, like ARAM and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where everyone just goes random, goes mid, and they even made in Han they actually made a mid wars map specifically just for mid wars, and there's tons like people like there's one character who has like a hook, so you just throw your hook out, try to suck them across the stage, and so people everyone picks the same character. Everyone goes mid. It's like pretty much a game of dodgeball. And it's so funny.
Yeah,
It's so stupid, but
It's-
such a great game.
So many good memories.
Such a
playing
great
MOBAs,
game.
Yeah.
Community sometimes awful, but game is amazing.
Yeah, I think that's true for both cases.
That's my number. What was that?
It's
4?
just a MOBA.
I think it was
Number
4.
Number 4.
What's your number 4, Jessica?
I got Kingdom Hearts.
I've never played it.
I thought that was coming up.
Yeah, it's I don't know, with your like always saying Infinity crossover, it's Square Enix and Disney. Can't really go wrong with that combination. So I have number 1 down, Kingdom Hearts 1. I know there's tons of other games. I mean, there's all the different spin-offs and everything, Dream Drop Distance and everything, but the first one was just what captured my heart. It was amazing, and I love it. So
2.8 out soon.
yeah, I'm just waiting for 3 still, forever.
I'd put that in my honorable mention. I think 2, but just because I have just more experience with 2 than 1, because I don't think I actually owned 1. I think that was a friend's copy, and then 2 I own. But yeah, those were great games. That was the first like seeing crossovers, like even before like Avengers and whatnot. It reminded me a lot of comics, and yeah, they were just fun games. It was fun to have all Mickey and Donald and Daffy, Goofy.
Yeah, no, I own the first one. I even had, like, one of the few games I actually bought the guide for and everything. And then I ordered Kingdom Hearts 2 and the guide for it. and the guide came in first, and I read the entire guide to Kingdom Hearts 2 before I even got the game, because the guide came 2 days early. So, I don't know, great. I love the entire series, but Kingdom Hearts 1's the one's on my list.
Yeah. I had a guide for Sunshine.
Yeah, that Kingdom Hearts was the one game that when it came out, I wanted to play it so bad, but I didn't have a PS2 at the time, so I just couldn't. And I just, like, let it go on. I've never touched it. Like, I've never, ever played it before, but I've always wanted to.
You need to jump on that.
Yeah, like, when it came out, I'm like, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
But I can't do anything about it, because I own a Sega.
Well, you should get on some new gen here.
You can get 2.8.
Kingdom Hearts 3, though.
Yeah, PlayStation 5.
You're just going to jump in on the third installment here?
Yeah. I'll look up a YouTube walk.
You know what? I'm sure actually that it's not going to matter considering they're releasing it on Xbox, so they kind of have to be able to have it playable for anyone that hasn't played. So, anyway, Travis, take it away.
Number 4, Taylor talked about earlier, but it's Luigi's Mansion. I rave about it all the time on here, so I won't go too in-depth with it, but yeah, that's definitely my favorite Nintendo game of all time. I just love that game. I'm a big horror buff, so I like that. I love everything from just the little backstories that all the ghosts have from catching them, of like, oh, this ghost ate too much, so he choked and died, and this ghost kept playing a piano. Like, it's not just like, oh, you're just sucking up ghosts. Like, especially the boss ghosts, there's always something. There's that great mission. It's in a mirror room or something, and you have to get the certain light, and it's just like, it's so creative, all the boss battles. The story's great, like you said, Mario not being the main character. And I just remember seeing Mario in the painting and just being like, oh man, like, because even though it was Luigi's Mansion, you always wondered, oh, you're going to go back and forth with Mario and whatnot, because it was really the first big game without Mario. Like, he was there, but he didn't do anything to help Luigi. Like, you just saved him. The last mission is great with the big boo and everything like that, and you got to suck it up and everything, and yeah, it just has such little critiques and just little things about it. Oh, I could rant on and on. There's this great thing with a dog, and that's part of it. And you go into this bowl, and there's like, you're pretty much tripping on LSD this level, and you're fighting all these almost kind of rip off of Dry Bones, but not really. It's a ghost dog, and yeah, and like, I don't know why this came to my mind now, but there's like a dead baby in the game. Like, it's crazy actually. Like, it's really. It has big horror elements to it. It's just a really well-rounded game, and it's so fun. It's a good combination of being creepy and funny and being a good game. So it's a game that I've replayed a lot. I'm going to always replay it, and yeah, Luigi's Mansion, I love it. It's so good. It's beyond good. So yeah, and yeah, the 3DS was meh. I'm still waiting for another one. So yeah, that was my number 4.
Nice.
Well, my number 6... Well, not number 6, 4, sorry.
Whoa! Where did 6 come
back up?
My number 4 is Skyrim. I have put a lot of time into Skyrim. I was a huge Oblivion fan. I remember beating the main story for the first time, and I just loved it. I was surprised because I thought I'd never get around to ever beating it because I was always doing side quests and doing all this extra stuff. And so with Skyrim coming out and seeing dragons in it, the dragons alone, or I was already sold just to know there was a sequel coming out, but just dragons in it, and then all the other extra content in that game, too much to really...
Bethesda.
Yeah, Bethesda.
Shoutouts.
Hang loose.
Hashtag Bethesda.
Hit me up, Bethesda.
Skyrim for me. That's number 4.
Cool.
Skyrim for me is later in my list. I won't go on it yet.
Okay. Spoiler!
Number 3...
Like, what? You knew it was coming. Why
yeah,
didn't you
I know,
get
but
prepared?
look, they're not in order. It's like 5,
Why?
7, 8, 4.
How hard is it
It's changing.
in order?
They've been changing them, okay? Okay, number 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Modern
Top
Warfare
3.
2.
Come on, you gotta
It's
do
gotta
some
be
kind of
Modern Warfare 2.
announcement
Call of
here.
Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2. Great game.
The reasoning behind this one is we've already covered it. It wasn't the greatest game ever.
No.
It had a lot of flaws. Commando Pro was broken. Don't even want to go there.
Akimbo models. Oh.
Yeah, like I had
Javelin glitch?
so much fun playing that game though. Like beyond fun. Like I would literally get so like that was the first Call of Duty I ever got max like prestige and like got everything.
Ooh, I wasn't that good.
Yeah, me and my friend we got in an unlock lobby that literally gave us every single title, every single like clip to every single like every single attachment, every gun. Like it was just ridiculous the amount of stuff we had. But like I just would play that every single day after school. Like I remember it came out. I was in grade 7. I just like, I remember I literally gave my dad my money to go to UV Games the day it came out, and he got it, and I was just so excited. I was, like, on the bus, city bus going home, so I went to school in Kelowna, and it was the worst experience ever, going to the west side, just waiting to get home so I could play this game. But yeah, like, it was just so much fun. Like, you'd play Cops and Robbers mode, or Cops and...
Michael Myers? Oh.
Yeah, you play Michael Myers,
Michael
Cops
Myers
and
was
Robbers, like,
classic.
you play any mode like that. Like, I know those were, like, from, like, COD 4, I remember playing that in COD 4, but Modern Warfare 2... I felt like that was the one game where if you didn't play a Call of Duty game, like even if you didn't like ever play the first couple games in the series, like that was the game that just everyone had. Like it was just obviously not you.
I had it. No,
Oh,
I
you
own
did?
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm just not a big COD fan. I just
Yeah.
because I'm not a first-person shooter fan in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, I own them all up until maybe Black Ops 2, and then I kind of bowed out, and I was like I'm done.
Modern Warfare 2 though, like me and my friend would literally like because it was PlayStation 3, it was free online, so we'd just make like different accounts and we'd make like a quick scoping clan. Like we'd literally like and we'd like meet people online. They would join our clan. Like we just played it so much. And like I just remember like getting nukes with only your knife because it was just so broken. You use Commando Pro and you just run around and knife people, and it was just I loved it so much. It was number 3 for me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm up next, aren't
Yeah,
I?
you are.
That's awkward. Let me just quickly check.
Oh my
god!
god!
No, I'm just kidding. It was
Not
Halo
the only
3.
one.
Halo 3. I didn't actually plan that. It just kind of happened. Hey, Halo 3, like, I liked all of the Halos I played pretty much. 4 was... okay, I'm not going to talk about that, but Halo 3 was great. Campaign-wise, awesome. Multiplayer was... that was actually... That's like in the same boat as Modern Warfare 2. It was like everyone was playing that game. And there was so much to it. Like, I loved doing doubles. I loved doing SWAT, snipers, regular team deathmatch, MLG, like all of it. It was so much fun. Online was great. But like the reason it's this high up on my list, I think, is just because of all the stupid things you could do with it, and mainly because of Forge mode. And I said this earlier. I like games that offer like you to build levels and stuff. And Forge mode was like the premium level creating thing. I don't know what to call it. And I just like people would make like jumping like parkour maps and whatnot in Foundry. Oh, Foundry was such a classic map. But I remember the best experience I had with this game, and this is probably gonna sound so stupid to you guys, but I played with me and my cousin, and my cousin had they had an exchange student from Korea, and what we would do is on high ground we'd all pick a house and like just deck it out with whatever. Oh, this thing looks like a TV. Let's just pretend it's a TV because we're kids or whatever. And so we did that, and we each had like a job. Like I remember I was the cop, so I'd go around like search your house for illegal weapons and stuff like this. And his Korean exchange student was like the banker, and we had like a banking system using like plasma pistols. I can explain that later if you guys want to find out. And my cousin had like the weapons shop, and like just
That's
the
awesome.
fact that you could do these things in this game just because of Forge mode was so amazing. And then Soundtrap 2, everyone, you guys, I don't know if you guys ever did this, but it's like you'd have just you and one other friend, you each pick one of the elephants and just build like a base on it, drive around, just do I don't know what, you don't do anything, you just play for some reason. And there's so much that stuff's really awesome. But then the multiplayer was just everything about that game was perfect, and that's why it's number 3 on my list. Jessica, what is number 3 on your list?
Halo 1, actually.
Cool.
So,
Don't get mad at me. I mean, I just picked Halo 3, but
following after you, it seems like a lot of things, you're stealing Minecraft, stealing Halo, but whatever.
you didn't even make
it.
a full list though, so that's kind of your B. You know
Oh.
Oh no!
what?
You made a
Anyway.
full list. That's not the.
Anyway.
She didn't number them. That's the hard part. Okay. Anyway.
Actually,
I'm not gonna bash
I
your
decided
list-making
to
skills.
add numbers because you guys flacking me, so I've had numbers since number 8, so
Oh, okay.
thank you.
Should have mentioned
Mine
that.
keep changing, so don't feel bad.
Anyway, Halo 1, it's just, it seems like I kind of picked the first in, like, most series, but I don't know. If anything, actually, I'd probably even go with the remastered by 343. It was just, I don't know, remastered was beautiful. I have lots of memories playing it. It was, I think, one of the first games I actually, like, really sat down and played, versus and co-op with other people as well. Me and my significant other have played through, the remastered and the original and MCC together, so just lots of good times with Halo. It's a great story. Not so much on the
Might be.
online,
Dylan's dead.
but
I died.
I don't know. I love the co-op on it. It offers, great replayability for that. Being able to go for all the skulls and everything like that. So, yeah, Halo 1.
Cool.
I don't have as much story about the Mario Maker version of Halo, but, that's cool.
I've always been a fan of Halo series. I've never, like I said, I never had an Xbox 360, till, way later. So, I was really late to the Halo series. But that was the one game that, everyone that I knew that had an Xbox had an Halo game.
It's because it's
And,
Halo.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Xbox original. I remember playing, first time I ever touched it was Halo 1, the classic. And I just loved the series. It was amazing.
Playing on the snow level
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
versus
okay.
and everything looks the same because it's the original Xbox.
Yeah.
You're trying to snipe someone across the map and it's just you can't really tell where wall and ground and hills are all different. It's quality.
I never owned a single Halo game.
I got Reach when I was because that was the one game that came out when I had an Xbox.
That one wasn't terrible.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Well, I loved it because it was the only one I
His
owned.
favorite.
You liked it?
I loved that.
I
His
loved it
favorite
too.
one?
It was the only one I owned, so I
It's
had to
probably
love
coming
it.
up on his list when we get to number 3, I bet.
Oh no!
Anyway, we'll get to that. Travis,
Travis is first, though.
You're next.
What's up, Travis?
Of course.
What's happening?
Not much.
You gotta make
Just
sure you do the well.
Listen.
Taylor.
Well.
Well,
You see,
let me get my list.
I put Arkham Asylum, Batman, as number 3 for mine. Up until a certain point, it was the definitive comic book game. You'll find about that later. But Arkham Asylum is amazing. Once again, it kind of touches upon me loving horror, but it has a great thing of you're Batman. You're not always locked in Arkham, but it starts with you being locked in Arkham. Of course, you get out and whatever, but you're locked in Arkham. Majority of all your villains are there. You got to get the Joker, have fun going through everybody, and just even the plot. It's still what I want to be made as a movie. It's so simple. Batman's locked in jail with all the people he's put there. And you got to fight them all. It's great, but what happens just from the start to finish is great. The storyline. They bring back Kevin Conroy, who's the ultimate Batman voice actor, and they bring back Mark Hamill, who's the ultimate Joker actor, and they had not done it together in a while, so that was big. And it was just great having a Batman game and a comic book game that had actually great mechanics. That was fighting and gliding and everything like that with your gadgets. So many I've sat through, other than maybe the Spider-Man games and Marvel Ultimate Alliance. The majority, they're all terrible, especially the ones based on movies are so bad. Even if they're alright and fun to play, they're so bad. And this was so good. They had such a good storyline from start to finish, and it was an original story too, so that's what I really liked. And there were so many good nods, and the big thing too was, I'm not sure if you guys have played it, but they have these things called the riddles, and you have to, I'll say they're from the Riddler, but they're all, I don't know, usually franchises that have, I'd say maybe 5 to 10 Easter eggs. This has probably over 100 Easter eggs of different characters that would maybe come later or the past or whatnot. In one time you go into the morgue and there's a dead body and it has the tag of a character's name on it that's from the comic books, and just stuff like that. The amount of detail they spent to the game and the whole universe was incredible. It felt like I was reading an actual comic book. It's much like the last Batman movie. So yeah, at one point it was my favorite game of all time, and it's amazing. The only, I guess, thing I have that I don't like is the very last boss battle. Kind of sucks. It was the Joker turns himself into Bane, but you don't fight him. He just sends out a bunch of guards and you knock him down with his own momentum. And it was just all up into that, so good. And then it was it's like if you do this huge roller coaster and then you see this big bump coming, but it breaks down. You don't get to go. It's oh. So, but other than that, the game is nearly perfect and it's amazing and it's great. I could do a 5-hour podcast on that, just talking about each 5-minute scene, and yeah, it's so good. So yeah,
I never played the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I watched my friend play it a little bit, but I played Arkham City, the second one,
Yeah.
I believe, and I was so blown away by that. I was very impressed.
Mhm.
From the very, very beginning, when you're in the chair and you actually have to move to fall out and get out, and then you go, and the combat, I loved it so much. The fighting was amazing.
And it's like that with all the
Storyline was
games.
amazing. At the end, you're so sad, almost when
oh yeah,
I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But, you know what happens.
Oh yeah, oh
and
you know.
and you're emotional almost, but it's it's just so
And you
good.
don't see it coming because it's one
Yeah,
of those.
that's very true.
And So not to spoil it too much, but if you've played Arkham Knight, you kind of know the story of it, and it's not one of these things of a big character does die, and they don't cop out in Arkham Knight like, oh, he's back, cool. It's like, nope, he's still dead, and even in the beginning of Arkham Knight, the coolest thing is they show him and his body getting incinerated, so it's like, he's for sure dead.
That's
like,
crazy.
So, yeah, it was a big ballsy move. But yeah, Arkham Asylum kind of kicked off that franchise, and really good game.
Yeah, really good series.
Yeah.
I've only heard good things. I like the newer game too.
Yeah.
Well, Taylor, how you doing?
So, I'm not too bad. We're on number 3?
Yes.
3. Wow. Way to be.
Taylor, say it. What are you doing?
Taylor's gonna give it to you. Number 3.
Star Wars Empire at War. Another strategy game. Absolutely, I don't even know how many hours I have put into this game. I wish that it got an official sequel. There's an Empire War and then there's a Forces of Corruption, which is more like an expansion pack. I hope it gets a sequel someday. I just love being able to play as Rebels, Pirates, or Empire, and the amount of options you have, like going into Battle above Hoth or just Coruscant or something like that. And you can go in with 100 Star Destroyers, 100 Mon Calamarian cruisers, all these different ships, and a lot of ships that you don't see in the movies, but in the expanded universe too. They got a lot of characters that they don't show, but in the movies, but in the books you may recognize them too. And there was a lot of interesting parts of the story, especially the campaign. A lot of things like behind the scenes that I haven't read all the Star Wars books, but I'm not sure if a lot of it is covered in the books, but a lot of secret stuff that's pretty neat, and so I would definitely give that.
Secret stuff.
Yeah,
Secret stuff. Like how to get your exclusive
Secret stuff
Tatooine
is awesome.
sand.
Yeah. That's my number 3.
Cool.
Alright. Number 2, for me,
Duh.
has got to be, this was actually almost number 1, but number 2, Bioshock the original.
Oh, now we know what number 1 is.
What do you
Because
think
of your
it is?
spoiler from earlier.
Well, I changed my mind, remember?
Okay.
It's Red Dead, of course. No.
We'll see. But Bioshock
hopes.
Infinite,
That's a no.
or sorry, not Bioshock Infinite, Bioshock the original. That game, like the whole storyline to it was so original at the time. Like it was like I'd never heard of anything like it. I didn't know anything about it going into the game, which made it, I think, even better.
Yeah,
And
sounds good.
like I was so blown away. Like every single time, like it was like I'm watching like an amazing movie. And I don't want it to end. Like that's what it felt like every single time I was playing that game. Like it was just amazing for me. Like the whole storyline. You're following Andrew Ryan, and like he started the city. And like, have you guys played Bioshock?
I've never owned it, but
Yeah.
I've played it.
And,
Played
like,
Bioshock.
Yeah, like it's just so many like interesting things happen. And like, and you have your choices whether you like what you do with like the little sisters, and like it's really like a morality check for you, because it's like you can like harvest all of them to get stronger, or you can like save these little girls, and it changes the end of the game. And I felt the end of the game was a lot different than what I thought was going to happen, which I really liked, because I love plot twists. No matter what it is, I love it so much. It just makes it even better for me. But yeah, Bioshock 1 definitely top 2 for me. Number 2, obviously.
Nice.
But yeah, like me and my friend would just talk about like oh my god, can you believe that happened in the game? Like the first time we ever played it, like we just like compare like notes on like what we're experiencing and like the storyline, because it's like it like I love horror movies, like you said, and like horror elements to it, and it had horror elements.
It did
to
really good. That's why I really
liked
liked it.
It was dark setting, but like at the same time, it's like this underwater city that's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I loved it so much. Like all the characters were amazing. All the journals you find that like go the backstory of the place. And that series for me is amazing. I know number 2 is a little disappointing. Like all you really do is play as the Big Daddy, which is it's a cool concept, but I feel like they could have done a DLC of that on the first one. And Infinite, I haven't even played yet. I had bought it on Steam sale like a long time ago, but my computer's a little lackluster, so I can't really play it right now. But like Bioshock 1, by far, that'll stay with me forever. Like that is just I could play that like again and just be blown away by the story.
Infinite was really good. I'll definitely like give it a shout out, but it kind of sucks because like you have your girl that follows you around, and anytime you're like out of ammo or gonna die, she's like, "Look, I found ammo. Look, I found a health potion," and
Yeah.
just like gives it to you. So it's just kind of like they kind of dumbed it down almost.
And you can't turn that
Sounds
off.
like the
right?
perfect girl.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So
Bioshock 1, it definitely wasn't like that. It's
Yeah,
like, you're
exactly.
definitely on your own, and you feel like you're on your own, except for like the guy that helps you, but I don't want to spoil anything about it, because it's such an amazing game that I don't like. If anyone hasn't played out there, they really should. Like, it should be on your list to experience it. Like, it's just amazing. 50 settings.
I have to give that
on
one another go. I never really got into it, but I don't know.
I'm the same as you. I could appreciate it for being good, but I just never got around to like falling in love with it.
I-
Probably because I didn't own it.
I really like the
but-
multiplayer in the second one, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I never played that. I just got so obsessed
It
with
was-
the story to
It was just like crazy, a lot of
Yeah.
weird stuff. All right, you done with that one?
Number 2, up to you.
Cool. Number
With the
two is
rhymes,
nice
lean on this
transition.
guy.
number 2 is up to me. For me, Elder Scrolls Morrowind is my number 2. This is the most immersive game I've ever played in my entire life. No game has ever just felt real like this game, even though it's completely unrealistic in terms of like what it actually is.
What?
Yeah, no, like this, just down to like the basics. The graphics now are very outdated, but at the time was crazy. Like it was just the best looking game you'll ever see. The soundtrack, if we ever do like a top 10 soundtracks, it's number 1. Like I love the soundtrack for this game; it's amazing. I will quickly shout out Oblivion and Skyrim are both good, but I think what Morrowind does special is that it's harder, I guess, but not. I don't know. Well, pretty much there's no quest markers is one big thing that I love about it. So you actually have to like take information and try to figure out what it means, maybe solve a puzzle. And so like for a mission in Skyrim, for example, it'll just give you a sorry.
No.
It's like I do love Skyrim, but it's like it'll your mission you don't even have to read anything. You can just click through everything. It'll give you a quest marker. You go do the thing, go back. But in Morrowind, it's like you have to actually it's not like conversations. You have to just read it because it was before they had tons of voice actors. But you have to actually like understand what you're supposed to be doing. And, there's a journal that gives you like notes and stuff. But pretty much it's like you have to leave out of Balmora from the west side. Take down the road until you find a fork in the road, take it left up the hill, and all these things. And there's one mission I remember, you have to find a Dwemer puzzle box, and it's just this tiny little thing the size of a Rubik's Cube, and you just have to go find it, and all they tell you is how to get to this place, and then you're just left to find it. There's no quest markers telling you exactly where it is. And it's these things that made me love the game, and also they just took things out from the later ones. Like another thing you can't do is fast travel. There's like you can teleport between certain towns, but you can't like to get to actually every place if it's undiscovered. You have to actually walk there. And I remember like I didn't even know because there is a way to teleport from certain towns through like silt striders and boats and stuff like that. But I didn't know that when I first played the game, so I like walked for like
Sounds brutal.
I don't know how much of the map. No, but it was awesome because I was just down this road. I had no idea what I was gonna find, and like I don't know if they intended for you to walk down this road because you can just pay 10 gold and travel there, but uncovering like secrets and finding like every time you play this game you'll find something different. And then like, what I was gonna say, like they took out so many things like spears and like throwing stars and just so many little things like that. They just took out from like Oblivion and Skyrim. I don't know why. Like it just gave the game more to do and more different types of things. And another big problem that I have with like Skyrim is you can pick, there's no class, right? And I felt that was really getting away from what the series originally was, where and that was especially true of Morrowind, because if you weren't playing with what the class you chose, you're gonna have a bad time because you're not
have a bad time.
You're not.
Skyrim kind of had that. They had like right at the beginning, they have stones you can go to, and like one stone is for range, and then
It's
mage
so-
and stuff.
Like, they were trying to get away from that, though.
They were trying to make it more casual.
They're
right?
trying to make it a lot more casual. Like, all you have to do is make your character and get in there.
And they-
just adventure, and you can do anything.
Skyrim, like you can have no stat for like I don't know swords or something. You can still use them fine. But in Morrowind, no. Like you pick your class and that's what you play. And then if you decide you want to start using hammers, well then you're probably just better off to just make a new story, create a new character, and live a new life. And
live a new life.
No, seriously, this game is amazing, and so many people just skipped past it and didn't start Elder Scrolls until Oblivion or Skyrim. But it was and is such a special game.
Yeah, the second time you're being a hipster about a game.
I think it's the third time. There was another time. I didn't say
Well,
something.
this one's because Morrowind is in my opinion, way better than the other ones. But yeah.
Like when Skyrim was coming out, I was so hyped for it, and I literally like played Morrowind for the first time because I wanted to get
the game
really
doesn't really stand the test of time as good as other games.
Like,
I'll give it that.
Yeah, I won't get into that.
Well, because that's the thing. Like, people don't know this is like when you attack in like Oblivion or Skyrim, you hit someone, and like you hit them no matter what. But in Morrowind, it's based on your stats. So when you swing at a guy, say you have like a 10 stat in sword out of 100, then I don't know if it exactly works like this, but you'll have like a 10% chance of hitting. So you just swing over and over until you hit them. So that's why you have to play whatever class you decide to be, and I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I remember when I started Skyrim, I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick I want to be a cat. I'm gonna be a Khajiit, and then I don't remember what happened, but I didn't want to play as or I was gonna use a sword and Khajiits are magic or vice versa.
Sneaky.
Yeah, I wanted to be a mage, and they're supposed to sneak. That's what it was. And I'm like, oh, should I restart? And Matt's like, no, on this one it doesn't even matter. And he's like, if you're playing something else, it does. But in Skyrim, he's like, it really doesn't matter what your class is.
I will say, though, if we were doing multiple games from one series, Oblivion would still be in my top 10. It might even be, just right after. It might be third. Oblivion is amazing, but I felt that Morrowind was...
Oblivion was my first entry into the series of the Elder Scrolls game. That was the first one I played.
Oblivion is sick.
It was amazing.
I played Skyrim first, so I'm late to the series.
So yeah, I could talk about Morrowind for at least a couple of years, but we'll move on. What do you got for number 2?
Final Fantasy X. Yeah, I figured that's what it was going to be.
I've played them. I like them. I just never got them in my top 10, I guess.
I never know what one I played.
That's true, too.
Many.
Yeah.
I wonder how warm it is.
I know I played one on the PlayStation 1. Don't know which one it was.
Well, it wasn't Final Fantasy X then.
Never got into
PS2.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I see that. No one's going to back me up on this one.
A lot of demos.
Such a great series.
Yeah, it's a great series.
No one backed me up on Morrowind. It's all good. Number 2s are for people not understanding.
Yeah, this is an unspoken hero, I guess.
I guess so, eh?
No
That
one
is
got
true.
Bioshock?
Yeah, that is true.
I said Bioshock.
What's
Yeah.
that?
I agreed.
Never mind.
Anyway,
Yours I hear
getting
a
off.
lot in the public.
No one cares about my point. Whatever, just go, Travis.
No, I care. I care.
No,
Why
tell
is it
us
number
why.
2? Number 2 is the big deal.
Yeah, it's because it's a good game that none of you appreciate.
Well, you gotta tell us why. No one knows why I like Morrowind.
It's so basically you have your team of 3, and you're trying to basically restore order to Xanark is the place. So you have Tidus as the main character. There's Waka, Lulu, Yuna, Riku. And you can kind of base your party around 3 characters that you want to play with. It's just amazing. It's so beautiful to watch and play. You have to fight different, I guess you could call them bosses, to try and capture them. Yuna can seal them, and then later on she can summon them to use them. It's amazing. It's beautiful to watch the cutscenes. The storyline is absolutely just out of this world. It's amazing. The sequel was a lot of disappointment for a lot of people, unfortunately, but if you look at Final Fantasy X by itself, I definitely, if you have a PlayStation 2, check it out. It's the best Final Fantasy in my opinion. I know people rave about 7, but Final Fantasy X
Something special.
It is. I cosplay, actually, 2 of the characters from it. And when I went to Anime Revolution, no one knew who I was, so it just shows how underappreciated that game is. So, yeah, it's my number 2.
I almost felt intimidated to get into the series, because there's so many games.
They're really standalone, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, 10 is not related at all to, there's 10-2, but that's
okay.
it. 7 is 7.
That
8
still
is
makes me
8.
laugh.
It's 10-2.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know?
It is what it is.
I just laugh because with 7, everyone seemed like they want a remake, and then it was announced, and everyone's hating on it. Why are they remaking 7? I just took this weird shift. It's kinda weird.
I like 7. It's good, but it's not. I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
I think that there are better Final Fantasies than 7.
I think it's, well, not for you, but you talk about Skyrim. I feel like 7 has got a lot more mainstream, and I feel like that's why some people don't view it as the greatest game, but it was a big game because that's where a lot of people started playing it. That were not maybe with it from 1 to 6.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I played it. It's just I had played 8 too. I liked 8 as well. You know, they didn't really stand out to me the way, like, I never got into it in the same way I did Final Fantasy X. So,
Yep.
10 is, you know, I mean, it goes for the other ones with, like, Lightning and stuff as you get farther into the series.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has their own opinion on kind of what the best one in the series is. A lot of people didn't like the Lightning trilogy that they kind of did. I personally enjoyed it, so all depends.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Teaches
passing
all.
the ball, you know, something that you guys might actually appreciate, or, you know, my underappreciated game.
I've talked
Every
a
single
lot
one of us
here.
has underappreciated games in these lists.
Yeah, we've talked.
There's too many video games in the world.
Yeah, I've talked about a lot here. Unfortunately, this series does not have 10 or 13 sequels as much as I would like it. But my number 2 is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. It was very close to number 1. I'll tell you when I get to number 1 why it's not number 1. But it is a game. Maybe I've replayed this the most, probably next to Luigi's Mansion, just because Luigi's Mansion is a bit shorter. But this I've replayed the most just because of how fun it is. I'm a big RPG fan, and this to me is the ultimate RPG. It's just a game where you get someone put in front of you and there's 6 different choices, and I've said it before, where there's a Jedi and either they're going to turn to the dark side, they're going to turn to the light side, or you're going to kill them, or they're going to join you, or blah blah blah. There's a guy that's with you the whole time that you could turn into a Jedi, or if you don't do it, like, he's just going to stay as a regular guy, you know? Like, there's all these things that you go talk to your friends that have also played it, and you're like, how did you do that? Like, this wasn't even presented as me. Like, that's how I figured out you could really... When you played the first time, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, this is how it goes. Like, I can't remember her name, but there is a Jedi in the woods, and it's like, oh, I just killed her. I was like, okay, and then someone went to my friends and was like, why is she, like, how are you playing as her? Like, this makes no sense. I killed her. Like, oh, I just talked to her, and I said this, and, like... And I, once again, played it again, and then not even then, you have the option of, you know, being a good Jedi light side or the dark side, and they are 2 very different things, and there's, like, 3 different endings to the game, and it's funny, I thought the dark side would be awesome, and then when I got to the ending, it's hella hard. Like, I was like, I want to go back to light now. Like, I beat it so easy, and same thing at the ending. Like, even the ending, there's, like, 5 or 6 different routes it could go, and there's so many choices, there's so many different planets it goes to, and above all else, the storyline is great, that... Sorry, I'm going to spoil it a bit. You start this main character, you're supposed to find out who this evil bad guy is, and at the end of it turns out that it's you because you lost your memory, and they're just trying to turn you to, like, oh, just in case he remembers, we're going to show him why he should be with us. But at the end of the game, huge twist that you've been the villain the whole time, and you get to make that choice of, like, oh, am I going to turn against that and not be that, or you can just go back to being a villain, and it's kind of great because there's a great cutscene. You're not a cutscene. You just choose to, like, kill all your life. It's really sad, but it's really messed up. This is how good the game is. This Wookiee swore a life debt to you, and you're just killing, like, all his friends and whatnot. But the Wookiee won't do anything because he swore a life debt to you. So he just stands there and, like, watches you and hates it. And it's just great. And that's what I mean. The game has so much depth, and that's why I really want a movie. But it's a game. Oh, I've definitely replayed it over and over. I still play it. It's great, and the sequel was meh. That's why I really, really want a third one, especially with today's mechanics and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But it's so good. The amount of choices and the amount of things in that game you can do, and it's regardless of, like, what you look like, what you dress like. Like, you get thousands of different costumes. Your lightsaber can be different. You can have dull side. You can have any other color. Like, you can have a gold one. Like. It's amazing. Like, yeah, it's a fantastic game. So
I got the second one. It was on sale on Steam there.
Yeah.
And I felt so lost playing.
Yeah,
it.
you told me that.
I should really play the first one. So
yeah.
I added the first one on my wish list, and when it goes on sale, I'm buying.
And the second one still is actually really good.
Yeah.
It's still lots of fun. It's just it just was missing some. And I guess maybe it was just the storyline wasn't good. The storyline in the first one is really good.
From what I played though, I really liked it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you make all the choices, like the gameplay, you really feel like you're playing a role-playing game.
Yeah.
And yeah, like all the choices, like you said, light or evil.
Yeah.
That the second one.
And even though
I've always loved games like that. Where
yeah.
You do good or evil.
And even though there is choices, it's very much like what you said with BioShock. The second one, it was alright, but the first one really felt like you were watching a movie the whole time. And there wasn't even that many cutscenes. It was just the dialogue and whatnot, and the gameplay, and what they'd set you up. You know, it's great. And there's just and there's just stuff on one planet you can become like a fighter, and you can go in arenas and fight other people for just money and whatnot. It's just all this stuff, and there's pod racing, and it's just everything you can think of the Star Wars universe is there, and it's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Taylor, number
2. I put a lot of thought into this. I went with Halo 3 over Halo Reach.
Wow.
Because
Do
of
tell.
because of one.
Because of my argument, perhaps?
No, it was a good argument.
You didn't do that on High Ground with your cousin and his exchange student from Korea?
He just watched you.
Okay.
I don't get me wrong. I love the Halo Reach campaign, but for Halo 3, it was aliens and humans teaming up together to fight this enemy. I absolutely love that so much, and I didn't play the multiplayer a lot. I loved the campaign, and it was you finally get to see the Arbiter and Master, like you see that in Halo 2, Arbiter and Master Chief really team up, kinda, but this is where they really become friends. This is it. I love that story. And my favorite cutscene in the game is when you see Sergeant Johnson walking past the elites with Covenant weapons, and then you see the Arbiter walking past humans with human weapons, and they walk past each other. I don't know what it is about that scene, but the music to that, the score, is absolutely amazing for that scene, and it's what sold me for that game. All those cutscenes, all those moments, and all that. Yeah.
Nice. Alrighty, here we are, folks.
Number one.
Number one. Before we go to number one, I have to do an honorable mention for number one. This could have been number one, even though it's not on the list.
That makes no sense.
Like, the original Sonic the Hedgehog for Sega Genesis. That was the first thing I ever touched. Like, it was, I love that game so much. But
that's not number one.
But that's not number one.
I have a question. Do you guys ever play? I played it on a computer. It was like a Sonic game, and you could play as like Sonic, Knuckles, or Tails, and it was completely like free roam, but you still had like missions.
Oh, I think I do.
Was it like
And it was
3D-ish?
on the computer.
Yeah, it was 3D-ish, and I
Yeah.
feel like I'm the only one that remembers this
I
game.
think I saw a speedrun of it, but
I don't know what it's called to like look it up.
Yeah.
I swear it was on. I don't know what it was on, but I swear it came with my GameCube one. Oh, do you know?
No, you're
what
thinking
it
of
would
like
be?
Sonic Heroes, and it's not Sonic Heroes.
I don't know if I am.
It's like it's
I
like
don't know. Like I don't know because I never really got into
But
the
yeah,
Heroes
I just had to
franchise.
mention that because that was like the biggest game for me. Like,
So that was almost number one.
that was
for you?
almost number one. Like
Wow.
the original Sonic.
And it's not even on the
But-
list. No
but
love
it's
at
like
all.
it's such like a old game that I feel like it would have been like bad to put as my number one.
I
My
don't
number
think so.
one. Well,
okay. What's
you're
your
gonna
number
know.
one
My
then?
number
Yeah, let's hear it.
Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 5.
You already said this, guys. You should have already known this.
Yes.
Well, he said it was on
This
his
game-
list, but he said
this
he's also
game
changed his list.
was
Yeah,
the most
so we don't know.
This was the most hyped game I've ever been for in my entire life. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, me, this is the first midnight release I ever been to, and it was such a good experience for me. Like,
Same.
yeah, you went to it?
I pre-ordered it on Steam, pre-downloaded it, so I was just waiting for the button to come up so I could
see,
hit play.
no. I got there. The physical copy, like, just like the atmosphere of being at a midnight release is just so like, I love it. Like it was so awesome, and like everyone was so hyped for this game that I was so hyped for it. So it was a really good experience for me. But anyways, I got it for PS3. I played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of that, and that was just the vanilla game. And then I got a computer, and I bought the Legendary Edition. We got all the DLCs on the computer. Now let's just say, because the computer version compared to the console version is not even comparable. Like, playing that game with mods is a whole different game. When you're saying you loved all of the features, how they have spears and like all the features in from Morrowind, you can get mods for that, and that's what makes it the best game for me. Because I have over 350 mods just for Skyrim. Like difficulty mods make the game harder.
How long does the game take to start up?
Not long.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. A minute.
Cool.
Less than that. I don't know. But anyways, but yeah, like you have like difficulty mods. You can have mods that have just like completely like a full DLC, like a 6 gig mod basically, and it's like you can play like a 6-hour gameplay of someone just made it and put it on the internet for free. They had paid mods for a little bit, but that
Didn't last long.
That didn't
What, a
last
week?
long. Yeah, and but I had to put that as my number one because I don't think I've ever put like, I don't know, maybe Age of Mythology is like tied for like the amount of hours I've put in that game, but like I could go home now and play it. Like last night I was playing it for
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
4
say
hours.
we see you on Steam playing it all the
Yeah,
time.
like
Okay.
I love that game so
Dylan's
much.
like, oh, he logged off Steam an hour ago, so I think he's gonna make it to the cast.
Yeah,
He
but yeah,
didn't
like,
make it to that one.
I've put so many hours in. It's my most played on Steam, and I still haven't even done everything on that game. And that's what I love about it. There's so much to learn, and there's so much to like just experience, and I just love that game so much. Number one for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not a bad choice.
Thank you.
I think
Well-
I know what this is.
What is it?
Yeah, it
What do
hasn't
you
come
think?
up yet, so I wonder what this could be.
All right. Well, okay. Well, I mean, the surprise in there, but Super Smash Brothers Melee for the Nintendo GameCube. So we talked about like why, like casually, why everyone loved that game when they were younger.
Filthy casual, you're calling me. That's what you're saying.
No,
right
because
now.
that was me for years.
Yeah.
That was me for years, and it was my favorite game when I was younger. But then I recently rediscovered it in the last 2 years. The competitive aspect of it, which is the most depth of any game I've ever played in my entire life, and I learned something new today when I was playing with my friend. Like, yeah, every single day I play the game, I learn something that is new and important, and this is the only game I've traveled to Florida and to Las Vegas over the summer just to go to 2 tournaments, even though I stood no chance, just to be there and experience it with other hundreds of people who just love this game just as much as I do. And it has become my favorite game of all time, and it's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about life. I know if you guys
The
want me
bonds of friendship.
About life?
yeah, it really has. It's become like more than just a video game. Like
It's a way
I
of
can
life.
explain that to you later if you want, because I could talk about it for hours. But it's
No, not tonight.
no, we're already way over. But no, it is the most amazing game I've ever played in my entire life, and I think I'll probably play it forever, and I think it'll always be number 1.
Oh.
That's how I feel about Skyrim. I feel like I'll never get over it, so makes sense for your number 1.
Yeah.
Jessica's is actually the only one I don't know. And no, I know it now. Never mind.
Okay, what is it? Take
Is it
again.
Pokemon related?
Oh, wow, yeah. Mystery's
Pokemon
gone.
Snap.
I was singing the whole thing. I'm like, I know everybody's but Jessica's, and now right when I got to you, I'm like, okay, I know.
Yeah, I can't pick just one. I'm sorry, Pokemon franchise it's you can pick any game, and I love it. And, said it before, I have Pokemon tattooed on my body for life, so, and I don't have any other, game.
There's no bad Pokemon games at all?
I mean, you could find a flaw.
I'm going to have to
But-
find one next week. I'm going to have to look. I'm going to look and see what people consider the worst one.
Yeah, just because it's the worst doesn't mean it's bad.
That's true.
It just means it's the bottom of the list.
It's true.
I don't know, like, Pokemon Yellow, like, first introduction to Pokemon. Pokemon Ruby was, one of the best for Pokemon. Pokemon Snap, all-time classic that they need to remake with the Wii U gamepad. It's amazing. And then Pokemon Go I'm going to put money down and say right now that it's going to be amazing. I love Pokemon, and it's taught me so much about life. Bonds of friendship, about life journey, never giving up. Dylan
Taking
knows.
down
I know.
gangs.
That's sure. If that's your life journey, Taylor, then I
Well, no,
support
that's what
you.
Rutland taught me.
Team Rocket, Team Aqua, Team Magma, Team Plasma, team.
Yeah, like
Gosh.
if you were to
Team Magma, those guys.
all the Pokemon games, like I own Yellow, Blue, Red, Leaf Green, Fire Red, Silver, Crystal,
You got the
Gold,
whole color palette. We get it.
Diamond, Pearl.
I don't know if there's a color that's
Black
called
White.
Leaf.
Black White?
Black, White, and Black White
Is there a leaf
too.
green?
There's 2.
Probably.
Yeah,
I bet you could
There's
find a
black-
crayon that says leaf green on it.
What?
yeah,
Actually, it might be trademarked. But
yeah, and then X, Y, Z's coming out, and I don't know if I'll probably end up buying that because I just own all of them. So, that's Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, you guys don't care as well,
No,
Oh,
but
No,
I,
no,
always
no,
say
no,
that.
about
But
my
yeah, I
games.
feel like we know this. Like, it's not a big shock. Like, I felt like we knew this.
Pokemon is not as special as me as it is for you. That's fine.
It's true.
Yeah, same thing. Like,
You didn't have any Smash on your list. I don't care.
yeah,
Doesn't
like
matter.
with him.
Yeah.
You don't know that had Smash.
I
on
like
it.
Smash with Skyrim. I don't play Skyrim. I know what yours is. I don't play it, and I don't play yours. I know you don't even need to. We know what yours
Yeah,
is.
it hasn't
literally
been
wearing
anywhere
it
else
on
on
his
your
body.
list.
Yeah, if
Hasn't
it's,
been anywhere else on your list,
it's
Taylor.
not on there.
so-
You're losing your Facebook page.
Well, as the suspense builds, because I know the viewers don't know what Taylor's going to say. What does Travis got to say? I actually don't know.
Yeah, I actually don't know either.
Well, Kirkland should know. He talked about it earlier.
Oh,
I had to
Okay,
pick
yeah.
Arkham City.
Yeah.
I'm sorry because and that's why I was
Wait,
so
that's not a
mad.
Batman game.
What? Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's why I had to pick it too.
That's
I
what I
know
was
it's
wondering.
two of the
What
same
is
series.
above Batman?
Yeah, and it's the same thing about Jessica. It's the same thing. Like she talks about Pokemon in her life. Like Batman has been my life for so many years. I don't have any tattoos, but I have enough
He's wearing
memorabilia.
a Batman shirt right
the
now.
Joker's thing, yeah. The amount of like
A
comic
Joker
books
thing?
and money.
It's called a
thing.
t-shirt.
I'm not gonna
It's not a
explain.
t-shirt.
It's a tank top.
It's a wife beater.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, it's not. Don't say wife beater. I hate
You don't,
that
you
term.
don't need
You're
a
from
shirt to beat your
Rutland.
wife.
No,
Horrible
I hate that.
Horrible
hear,
name.
hear that? I said you don't need a shirt to beat your wife, and he says no.
I just need a pool noodle. dipped in water and frozen. No.
It's funny, 'cause that's a joke in Melee that Roy uses a pool noodle.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, but yeah, it's the same thing. That's why it gets a little bit over more. I'd say Knights of the Old Republic is probably at a grander scale a bigger game, but Batman is just because I love Batman. He's my favorite superhero all time. He's my favorite comic book character. Actually, he's my favorite character tied to the Joker all time. And Arkham City, Arkham Asylum was amazing, but Kirkland talked about it, and he's not even like a huge Batman fan. It was just an amazing game. Everything that Asylum did, it turned it up to 1,000, just did it even better. Even just the first opening minutes, you're playing as Bruce Wayne, you're fighting through a riot, and there is a jail, but it's the first time. Arkham Knight is open world, but this was the first one to go open world, and it's great being Batman and seeing all these big buildings of stories that you get to go up and fight crime and do all this. The riddles are back, and they're better than ever. They're the best ones. The third one, once again, they're kind of reaching. I really like Knight. If people are wondering why it's on the list, I really like Knight, but it's more like almost a top 30 game. There's a lot of disappointments for me now that I played it, but
That game sucks.
that's what I hear. But Arkham City, I really loved it. And yeah, Kirkland talked about earlier too. The storyline was just even better than the first one. There's lots of twists and turns. And the big thing for me was the boss battles at the end. They improved everything from the first one. It didn't end in a crappy, like, Joker-Bane fight. It ended in a great way. It ended kind of two ways, and one of the great endings, too. You're jumping off this huge building, there's explosions going off from you, and yeah, there's so much stuff. And then at the end, there's like a double twist, and there's like a huge boss battle. You versus Clayface. It's not it might be a spoiler. It's a few years older, but it's an amazing game. It's the same thing. It's film quality, and that is the game, along with Knights of the Old Republic, I've played the most. I play it over and over. I'm waiting for a remaster. I take a remaster on every console. Even 50 years from now, I want a remastered. Yeah. But it's amazing. I love that game. It's from start to finish for me, 11 out of 10. It's a perfect game. And yeah, that's why it's
more
my
than
favorite.
perfect game.
Oh yeah, it is, because it just was like the game almost gets to an ending. You're like, that's a great game, and then it's like, oh no, it's not over, and this happens, and no, it's not over. And even their DLC they put out was great, and it was just about Harley, and yeah, it's fan.
Like you said, I'm not too familiar with the series. Like obviously I've watched all the old Batman movies and stuff like that, but I'm not into it. It's not in my blood. But that game, when it goes through all of the famous villains, and you see that a lot of them, a lot of them are in the asylum, and I love that.
And it never feels forced. They always pop up at the right time.
Exactly.
It's never here's another bad guy.
You don't have to find all of them.
No.
It's side missions.
Yeah.
If you go find a clue or a weird little thing, and then it leads you to something. Or
it's really GTA with Batman.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
That was the first time I really got introduced to Harley, because every time I had seen her was from the
cartoon.
The cartoon. Yeah. And wow, she's a really good character. I really like this character. And I really love that game. That should be an honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
Top 20 for sure.
It's really good.
Top 15.
I was going to say 15, but there's too many games.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was, I feel like Arkham Asylum was a really good game, but then City was the game that established, okay, these games aren't jokes anymore. Before Asylum, I still felt like, oh, it's a comic book game, but then after City, like Kirkland said, there's a lot of people that did not even play. I have one friend that hates comic book movies and the whole genre, and I was like, man, that's a good game.
Yeah.
I bought it, and that's a good game. You should tell me to play it. It's I did. Oh, it's Batman. That same thing. It's but now you look at Arkham Knight, huge release, huge success. All the new Arkham games, even Origins, that wasn't that good, but still now it's become a franchise. It's like any other big franchise now. Even though they say they're done, I doubt they're done because it has that name thing now, and people hold it as standard. So it really saved comic book games, and they're the only really franchise that do it. Comic book games still kind of suck except for that. So, yeah. Taylor, you're gonna take us home with
the end of
your
the
number
road.
one.
Number
Drum
one.
roll, please.
I wonder what it will be.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Woo!
Yeah. This is a game, I love the historical accuracy of it. I love the combat.
So you're going to say everything you love about it and then the title, or what?
Yep.
I think everyone knows the title already.
I love...
He's worn, everything that he wore today was on his list, so we
Yeah,
already
no,
named
Watch
them all.
Dogs.
Don't spoil
No,
it.
Watch Dogs.
I don't know.
Spoilers.
Oh, maybe Watch Dogs.
I don't know.
What?
the gameplay, story, and as I love the games that are in history. It's awesome.
Right now,
So that's
just
why-
picturing everything you're talking about is Diddy Kong Racing.
History is spot on.
It was perfect, and I love playing it on the next gen console. It was even better. Rise, Son of Rome.
Oh my god! I was my heart sank. I was like, oh, I'm gonna mic drop this and leave. They're not even gonna get an ending.
No, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, definitely. Assassin's Creed 2 was a huge improvement off the first, and I loved it, but I picked Brotherhood because it was Assassin's Creed 2 and much more the way you could recruit your assassins and call them into battle, and I found it to be... I liked it a lot more than Revelations. I thought they could have ended it with... They could have ended Ezio's story with Brotherhood. It would have been perfect. I love the fact that it introduced multiplayer. I played multiplayer on that so much. It was so much fun. And I'm gonna have to go back and get 100% on that because
You don't have 100% already?
I have 100% Assassin's Creed 2. This was the first one where you have to... Each mission you have to get synchronizations in, so you have to not touch the ground. You have to get like 10 air assassinations, and this was stuff I just wanted to beat the story, so I didn't pay full attention to that. And then Revelations came out, and I got caught up with each other one. But that's one that I'm gonna have to go back to and get it because I almost have all the achievements for it. So yeah.
Well,
That's it.
Yeah.
We did it. 100 games. Oh,
That wasn't 100 games.
Don't even.
It felt like 100 games.
100 games.
Wow.
Wow, basic math.
oh,
I mean, even in
It
total,
is
it's not
getting
even
late. It is
100
getting
games.
50, whatever.
Well,
we
not
got
either.
through our top 10. Yeah, it is 50.
No, I had Halo 3, he had Halo 3, we both had Minecraft.
Between
I
our
had a lot of games,
huge
actually,
list of
yeah.
honorable
Yeah,
mentions.
yeah, between-
Honorable mentions, more than the top 10 list.
Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, have a good night, day, afternoon, whatever it is when you're listening to this.
Taylor, you want to give your...
Your 2 cents?
Really? I hope all of you stay frosty.
Oh,
What?
Why? Why don't
I
you want
thought-
them to be warm and comfortable?
I thought you were going to tell them to like us on Facebook. What was that?
Oh, yeah, check us out on Facebook.
And follow us on Twitter at GeekVerseCast. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with whatever.
I don't
figure
know.
it out.
We'll see.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
It's a long way away.
Top 10 least favorite games.
Yeah.
Favorite games.
A long
Alrighty.
list. Alright. Let's get out of here, everybody.
Yeah.